Didn't even get to clap no cheeks, none, dog.
Right.
Shit, I'd
What does
imagine.
he do every night, like with Suki? Does he look at the moon and he's like, "Yeah, tap that."
He did it.
Like, yeah,
He
that
did
was me,
it.
yo.
Welcome to yet another episode of the Nerdgasm podcast.
But, and I've made a comment on TikTok. We are sober, but I'm telling you, man.
And you can find me on Mr Geek Media. Hashtag Recast the Chala campaign.
Jack. Every time Jack had to find someone from Africa, he's so plain.
Okay, I'm tebellokhala. Welcome to Nerdgasm. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of what a kilo saying another episode. Welcome to an episode of the Nerdgasm podcast. I think this is I'm not gonna count which it's season 3. We're in season 3 now because season 3 episode
Mang Mang.
yeah. I don't
On
know.
book
Tell me
three.
if I should compile them into a playlist for you guys. I don't know if I can do that. If I've got time, I'll do that for you guys. But anyway, welcome. We are going to introduce our co-host. You see, teleprompter still working. I'd like to welcome to the podcast with my dear and awesome co-host, Mr. Extrodin. Take it away.
Hey, everybody, this is me back at the Air Temple. Mr. Extrodin over here. If you would like to check out my stuff, do check out Mr. Extrodin Universe or Mr. Extrodin Thinks, where I talk about films. We talk about geeky stuff with all these guys, and I do hip hop, and I also talk to creatives about creativity and all things related to entertainment and geeky stuff. Yeah, that's
And
me.
and his video editing has got through the roof. The amount of clips I see is like Now you see
Yeah.
what movies they're referring to. It's so cool. It's so cool. Guys, go check it
Thanks.
out.
I know
Anyway,
it's painful, but it's cool. It's painful.
It's painful. I need an upper in my life. I need an upper and a momo in my life.
No, the time I
Wow.
realized that we to the amount of trouble I've gotten ourselves into is remember the kung fu movies podcast.
Yeah.
Yo, I've never hustled that hard. The amount of clips I was busy splicing together. Yeah, that now I know the pain you're going through. Okay, after that, I was like,
I feel like quitting every time I edit.
what am I doing? That's what I Anyway, Mr. BuckMeister, take it away.
Reactions, drawing, fan arts, comedy. The 4 elements live in harmony, and that's the things that I do. But then one day, the Recast the Chala campaign attacked, and all of the elements separated. What's up, everybody? It's your boy BuckMeister twice, and I say to you, Trisha Bamson. So yes, I do all of that stuff. I've got 2 YouTube channels. I've got Mr Geek Media and BuckMeister Cool Reacts. Recast the Chala campaign, which has attacked and taken up a lot of my time, but yeah, you can still find content and other things like Geek Heresy and all of that stuff and everything. And yeah, I think there's nothing. Yeah, I think that's about it. There's nothing else that I'm plugging right now. Oh, check out Black Fist on Webtoons. Check out Neon Wave on Webtoons, and check out Black Panther vs. Kang on Webtoons. Thank you so much. Let's
Which
get into
tribe are you
some
from?
Avatar. Oh,
Which
me?
tribe
I
are
want to
you
be an airbender so bad. I want to be an airbender so bad.
So the N Nation.
Yeah.
Technically, you're a water side. You should be a waterbender, but well,
Why should I be a waterbender?
Yeah, damn Pisces.
Screw the signs. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't bend. I identify as an airbender. Okay, I'm identifying as an air sign. That's how I identify.
We'll never judge you. Like what Iroh taught Zuko all those days ago. It's like, we need to learn from the other sides. That's how we grow. So identify as you identify.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
I'm an airbender, damn it.
You had to use the word identify. I see what you did there.
I'm an airbender, damn it.
He's a waterbender, but he identifies as an airbender. I see what you did
I
there.
refuse. I will not let you label me like this.
What are labels? Even the guru said it himself. It's like these things are just but illusions. There are no four nations. We're just living in one world.
Imagine if there was someone who was so delusional that he thinks it's the airbender because he identifies with all other three elements.
I ain't saying nothing. I'm saying energy bending exists now. Maybe who knows? You might just bump into an avatar and decides, you know what? Yeah, cool with that. Join us. Whee!
I'm not. Because for me, I'm sorry. I think water bending for me, I think is the wackest of the elements.
It's the most overpowered.
Because
Well,
it's blood
outside of
bending.
blood bending?
Okay.
Okay, outside of Korra, who turned it into mental telekinesis, where it just works whenever, wherever, however. Here, you needed the moon. So, if that's the condition to bloodbend, it's not that great. Airbending, I can bend everything.
True that. I won't dispute it.
True.
I can spin and make a tornado in water. I'm bending water. I can spin air around the rocks. I'm bending rocks. You throw fire at me, I can spin it. I'm bending the fire, and then the air.
Fair enough.
Air bending, like I don't know how Ozai.
But you're
Like,
also
Ozai is so lucky. Ozai is so lucky that the airbenders that the nomads, that they were peaceful. Imagine if they were warmongers.
They would
Guys,
have waxed him.
hold up.
They would have waxed him.
Pila, introduce yourself.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, jeez. Before a whole team of Zahirs are fighting the whole time. Hi guys, it's Pila. You'll find me here. I also guest on the platforms that they mentioned. Thank you so much for everything that you've been doing and watching and liking and subscribing. Please continue to do so. And we're gonna be doing, I guess, a deep dive into Avatar Book 1.
Thanks for the love, by the way, Mr. Extrodin. We just saw
Yeah,
that.
man. Yeah, man. It's all love
Anyway.
here at the Ed Temple. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
As the backgrounds are showing, as our discussions are showing, we are going to discuss Avatar: The Last Airbender. We vented last week about Korra. We are now purified.
I vented. They're fans.
Yeah,
It was
I
me
couldn't.
alone. I'm sorry.
It was you versus the defense attorney versus the.
You were supposed to tag in. You were supposed to help.
He was the judge.
I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Because the more you complained, I went from I don't care to I genuinely felt sorry for Korra. I was like, wow, girl, win something, please. Girl, please win.
Oh,
Why
but
do
sorry,
you
guys.
I've softened on Korra.
Please, please tell me which tribes you guys belong to as well. I'm curious.
Oh yeah, comment below.
Oh, and you
Yeah.
too as well.
Oh no. I told if I branded him a water set because he's Pisces, I have to acknowledge that I'm a war criminal because
Oh, you're
because of
you're a firebender.
yeah, definitely.
And you,
Okay.
Pila?
I have no idea what the calendar says. I'm born in October, so I have no idea what that
You're a
means.
Libra,
But
sweetie.
I
You're
would
an air sign.
Oh, you're also a Libra.
so I'm an air.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you're also a Libra?
Well,
You're literally a week
yeah, I
apart.
guess so.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you forgot
Yeah, we are.
I don't believe in the zodiac. I don't believe in
That
the
actually sounds like such an air conversation. Like, oh yeah,
I don't believe in the zodiac sign. I refuse to be a
Well,
fish.
I'm happy. I was born air, and I guess I identify as air. I'm okay with it.
I'm always going to identify it, and no matter who says what, as my thing. Whether it's Power Rangers, whether it's Avatar.
Yo, shout out to all my airbending brothers and sisters. Shout out Aang, Zahir, Tenzin.
And to
Zahir?
prove it, and to
Gula
prove it,
here?
to prove it to you, the viewers, if you check out some of our previous episodes, you'll realize that either myself or Pila are actually bald in some episodes. So
more often than not. More often than not.
Wait, so because I have hair, I can't. Okay.
you got the ways, though. Like, come on, the signs are there. You know what I mean?
No, I refuse. I'm
Anyway.
bending air.
You can bend water like yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
When was actually?
You can bend the clouds.
Yeah.
When was the last time? When was the last time you guys watched Avatar?
Oh,
Like,
well,
specifically.
that when I was prepping for Korra, so I want to say last year, December. I took like 2 weeks to catch up on Avatar, and then I took a week to catch up on Korra.
For
I'm
me,
not
I
gonna
think
lie.
it was 2 years ago.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, thereabouts. I think in the highlights, when I was busy recovering from my off season, I used to be watching this thing a lot, especially my favorite episodes. So, because the lessons they learned were very inspirational. So, about a couple of years ago, I'd say.
Yeah,
Mm.
same. I watched it during COVID era because for some reason I think the show just got popularity again.
Mm.
I was like, oh hey, Avatar. Let me rewatch some of that.
Mm.
It helped. It really helped me get out of some depression that I was going through.
Mm. Now,
Actually,
Yeah, it's
Zuko
very
helped me with that. Mm.
now that you've gone into the new year and you're really back in the flowing of things, I just want to announce that this year things are going to be a little different. We're gonna spice things up a little bit. It's not just going to be same old. Like I'd mentioned to these guys before, there's some little segments I'm thinking of introducing or whatever. Suggestions. I'm still coming up with some suggestions. Maybe you can comment some suggestions below. Maybe I could do a confessions poll on Instagram or something where people can write the comic related confessions, which we can talk about here and react. Like if somebody hasn't watched, God forbid, somebody hasn't watched something like Code Geass and they don't know what's it about. It's a safe space for you to confess. There, we won't judge you. We'll just judge your actions,
Yeah,
which is
and I
exactly the
mean,
same thing. But
I know me and BuckMeister are still gonna do an Agni Kai
yes,
about Orihime and Sakura. Yeah, more suggestions.
things like that.
That one is probably going to be a 6 hour conversation. People are not just going to sit and eat our popcorn and watch you guys go at it.
Michael Jackson style. I don't know how. We'll transfer from
I'm
speech.
definitely Zuko, and you're definitely General Yakone in that situation, my guy.
I mean, we could even do something totally different. Like maybe there's a show that you think is really good, I think is really bad. We can argue it out. I think the first one that comes to mind is probably Attack on Titan. I
Okay.
know I'm the Attack on Titan stan, and I got some haters in the room. I got some
Speaking of
Marlians
which,
here.
speaking of which, funny enough, I wanted, as you're busy talking about segments, I just wanted to have a quick segment right now because I did a little bit of research on about any latest anime news, and guess what?
What?
We're gonna have to make a bulletin sound for this one. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
What do they used to do? SABC.
Yes.
Hey, does anybody remember when J Squad remixed that? It was the most random remix that I ever expected. Like they just randomly out of nowhere, J Squad.
Yes.
Anyway,
I
bulletin.
was saying, contrary to or rather to the shock of almost everybody outside of Japan, Cyberpunk Edge Runner won Anime of the Year over contenders like Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer.
Cyberpunk Edge Runner.
Cyberpunk Edge Runner.
Oh,
Cyberpunk.
Yes.
Cyberpunk.
Really?
Cyberpunk, the Netflix show.
It's such an anticlimactic show though.
Well, Demon Slayer.
Vinland Saga.
I get why Demon Slayer wouldn't win though. That last season was not great.
No, but I mean,
I
how
have a
Cyberpunk?
controversial statement. Demon Slayer has never been good, but controversial.
We know
controversial
you,
statement.
Wenna. We know you. We had that episode.
I've got the article here. I was busy looking at it. Like the other winners, the other.
I'm saying, like
Can
Cyberpunk.
you share your screen? Is it possible?
I don't know how.
Yo, guys, Deviation Central. Hey,
No,
Yeah.
this is the news. This is the news.
It's the second segment.
We are talking
in the
about the news.
Avatar episode.
That's why it's a
Yeah.
segment about news. We'll get to the meat of the product afterwards. Relax. Calm your titties.
Okay. I wonder whoever clicked on this for Avatar is like Cyber.
Yes.
What?
Wait, but I thought the awards haven't happened yet. I saw the nominations, but I didn't know they already happened.
The winner.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yes, mass protected all cost character. It was Spy X Family, for Anya Forger.
Okay.
Anime of the year.
Wait,
was
who's
Cyberpunk-
Anya? Is Anya the
Little
wife
girl
or
with the pink. No, little girl with the pink hair. She's the little girl with the pink hair.
the psychic?
And Demon Slayer.
No, Spy X Family.
Spy X Family.
Oh.
And then Winner for anime of the year, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which beat Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer. I don't know how to pronounce this. Is this Lycrosis Recoil or Lyros? Anyway, Lycrosis Recoil, Spy X Family, Rankings of Kings. Best
This has to
action.
be old. This has to be
Yeah.
not. This has to be 2002. This can't be
22
2003.
2023 awards, CD.
Yeah.
But like,
Best action. Demon Slayer. Beat Attack on Titan again.
Wait, which season? Which season of Demon Slayer? Season 3.
I don't know. I haven't got the details here. Doesn't mention much. But I'll look into details and send it to you. But it won
Okay, as
best
much as
action.
I'm not a fan of Attack on Titan, again, objectively speaking, brilliantly written. Like, if I'm looking from how things go from point A to point B, totally makes sense. I'm just not a fan of the messaging of Attack on Titan.
BuckMeister, I appreciate that statement. Man.
Good writing is good writing. I can't just hate for the sake of hating.
Demon
But
Slayer won both best action and best animation. I don't know how. I do not know how, but
animation, maybe I can see. But anyway, what I'm saying is for Cyberpunk Edge. But I'm
Oh,
saying for
animation, yeah, definitely.
But I'm saying for Cyberpunk Edge Runners, I don't see how it would have beaten Attack on Titan. I really, because I watched it and it was alright.
yo,
Was
Pila,
like,
I have a bone. There's a. Like, I don't know if this is a bigger slap in the face or or a consolation prize, but you guys won something at least.
But best music.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's fine.
For the,
like I get
for
it.
the
Like,
song "The Rumbling," we need to listen to that.
the thing is, when in like 10 years' time, when people look back at anime, the greatest animes that define the decade, I don't even think anyone will even talk about Edge Runners, so it's fine.
True. Then, of course, the other winners: best comedy, Spy X Family; best continuing series, who on earth would be surprised at this result? One Piece.
Oh. I mean, One Piece did step up its game in animation.
That is also the world's
I-
longest soapy.
Like, I haven't been watching it, but every time I see clips of that
okay,
one,
so are we done with the anime corner?
And
yeah.
Back to the.
Sorry.
We are
Can we get back
almost
to
done.
the quasi anime corner?
I'm still giving out the winners. Best director was Sotozaki Haru for Demon Slayer. Surprise. Best drama, Attack on Titan. At least you won. Yay! You got something. Are you happy?
Oh, look, I'm. It's not my award, but I'm happy it got recognition.
Best ending sequence, Spy X Family beat guess who? Attack on Titan again. Best fantasy, Demon Slayer. What the hell, Demon Slayer? What is going on with you?
It's rigged, Baba. Demon Slayer.
Yeah. Best film, Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen 0. Okay.
Oh, that was good.
This was old, man.
Okay. Best main character, Eren Yeager.
This has to be old. The fact that Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 isn't even on this list. This seems a bit old.
Best
Main character.
Oh, is it from Jujutsu Kaisen?
Nah,
No,
that's
it's
from
not
your
old.
boy. That's your boy.
Oh, Eren.
Eren.
No, but season 2
Eren Yeager.
out late last year. It's not old.
Yeah, that
Then,
wasn't last year. I think it was the
of
year
course,
before.
best opening sequence, you won again, Attack on Titan. Best original anime is like Crosses Rico, whatever that's called. It's just a glycerosis. Best romance, who cares? Okay, Kaguya.
Someone does. No offense.
Kaguya-sama Love is War. I don't know what that is.
Uh,
Best score, Attack on Titan. The Attack on Titan is winning on the music front. I'll give you that. Best supporting character, Spy X Family. Best voice
How does
actor
that work?
performance.
Wait, how does that work?
What?
As best supporting character, who does the character get the award or does the
I feel like we
The
have to
studio.
change our backgrounds for this segment because we have
Ooh.
not said anything.
We will get that. Best voice actor performance would be Zach, whatever that name is, as Damon Martinez from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Yeah.
He won?
Best voice actor in Japanese. Oh no, this is in English. This is the
Oh,
best voice in English.
I was like, bro, he's not he's beating Japanese voice
Yes.
actors at an anime or what?
I
I was like,
no. You can relax, Pila. Best voice actor performance, Eren Yeager.
The thing is, I don't even think the Japanese audience gives a damn. This is like Westerners talking
Yeah.
about anime. They're
yeah,
probably like, oh,
probably.
thanks for having us.
No, I mean it's like the gaming awards. I've never bought a game or movies. I've never gone to movies with Oscar winner or Oscar perform. I've never bought a ticket based on that.
True. I mean, I think the best they get is Keanu Reeves in
No,
most
Yeah.
of their minds.
no.
It
At the
just
same
helps
time,
it just helps the studio, or it helps the actors involved,
yeah,
because
I
it,
think
it,
Yeah.
it basically increases their rates or something.
something like that. But at the same
True.
time, if you look at the Oscar movies, none of the top performing movies tend to end up being in the Oscar
Yeah.
in the Oscar
Like,
Yeah.
you
nomination.
mean to
Like,
tell me you're gonna underpay The Rock?
No,
When is he
Well,
winning an Oscar?
and you know he's
there is
not
a
gonna
new
win an
Oscar
Oscar. He's
category.
never gonna win an Oscar.
There's a new Oscars category. I don't know if it's fan favorite or box office achievement or something like that to acknowledge the movies that actually made money.
I mean, like,
Oh yes,
the,
you're right. Didn't Barbie get that one?
Bobby got the Golden Globe, and
yeah,
then
Barbie's been
I'm not
getting the
sure who's
Golden
gonna win the Oscar.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying, are you
Only
gonna
box
tune
office.
in to watch the Oscar ceremony now because they have a fan cheer moment section or something?
Who used? You know, I've got friends who do stay up late and watch the Oscars live. I've got people.
I do not care.
Yeah, there are people. There are.
I could not even like the Chris Rock slap. I heard about it simply because I saw a thing on Twitter. I didn't even know the Oscars was happening.
It
I
was on
honestly think that was the most exciting thing about that ceremony.
that year.
Like,
Yes, true.
nobody
was.
talks about anything else but that moment, bro.
Given how many, and that's it's also to show the rate of decay the Oscars are having, because firstly they're like whitewashed, then suddenly they started pandering to the blacks and the Asians, and then
Yeah, because
suddenly
Oscars are so white. I remember that.
so
But yeah, long story
Anyway.
short, I don't care about awards personally. If I win one ever for something, I will be like, yay, and then I'll probably auction it on eBay.
But thanks for this, Tebello. I used
Say
to.
that again once you get your YouTube plaque, okay? Once you get that silver and gold plaque from YouTube, once it arrives on the mail, I want to see it and sell it.
But thanks for this, man. I remember when I was still in high school, I used to check out these awards in NAG magazine. I don't know if you guys remember NAG.
Yes,
Yeah, back in the day. So
and
I'm glad you brought it up, because it keeps us informed.
Pila, didn't they used to have something like that in the Otaku
Otaku
magazine?
magazine as well, yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the good, we are showing our age.
Hey, dude.
Yeah,
You
we
know
are
that
age.
Otaku actually introduced me to Naruto, Otaku magazine.
Wow.
Otaku. I got to understand more intimately about Otaku magazine thanks to you guys, actually, because I was a Kenshin stan and everything. Then like, we had magazines. We were that relevant in this country. Wow.
I even knew about international magazines like New Type. You remember New Type?
Yeah.
Zine and stuff, yeah.
Bruh, I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what's going on
Oh
right
no,
now.
this is like.
What are these words? What are you speaking?
Magazines? I was on the internet.
But do you guys remember Animax?
Yeah, I remember that.
We should have we should have an episode about Animax and the Otaku magazines. That should be done, but we'll talk about the calendar later. Anyway, so now we are done with the news segment. Okay, thank you for indulging us. Everyone can comment below what they think about who should actually have won. I'm still surprised. I really don't care that much about recent anime, but are you going to tell me that Cyberpunk, what's his name, did better than Gear 5?
That doesn't make sense.
But we'll leave it for later.
There's actually this new
No,
anime.
I think that's why what Pillar said is correct. This has to be like a Western something.
Is
I-
it Crunchyroll or what?
I'll go
No,
check
I don't think it was Crunchy.
Yeah, it must be Crunchyroll or
Yeah.
Anime News Network or something like that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask if it was either maybe Anime News Network or
Because
Crunchyroll.
Japanese people are probably not going around saying Cyberpunk.
Hell,
What the hell is that? You know?
hell.
Anyways, let's get back to the meat of the meat of the matter. We are talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Long ago, The four. Oh, it starts with. What? Which one does it start with? Water.
Water.
No.
Earth.
Yeah.
It's water. Earth. Fire. Air. Long ago, the four nations lived in harmony. And then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. I don't know why, but anyway. Only the Avatar, who fucking master all four elements, could what did you say again? Restore balance?
And restore balance to the world.
No,
Yeah.
only the Avatar who could bend all four elements could help. But when the world needed him, he vanished.
Yeah, he vanished, yeah.
100 years has passed. The first episode says something different. It's been 100 years since the last Avatar was around. But I still have hope that things can change. Nah, is the only time she says the intro is different from the rest of them. Fun fact.
Mm,
It's the only time, huh?
Episode 1 of
Yeah.
book 1 is the only time where she said her intro speech is different from the rest of the.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, by the way, Katara is voiced by Mae Whitman. She's an actress. She was in Scott Pilgrim, and she was in a series called Good Girls.
Fun fact, her and Dante Bosco are the two leads of American Dragon. So for all of you Zutara people, you can go check that out.
Who does she play in Scott Pilgrim?
She played the ex Ramona's ex-girlfriend.
The lesbian one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Prepare to die, obviously. The bi-curious. Well, I was just going into her face. I was just bi-curious. What? I'm bi-furious.
Scott Pilgrim.
That movie was so cringe, but it was also so good at the same time.
I don't know how they did that. I don't know
I
how.
sometimes
so
wonder
fancy.
what does Chris Evans think of that performance he put in that movie?
Dude, he
Oh,
loves
he loved it.
Loves it. Eh?
Yeah,
He loves it, dog.
They even
'Cause
all came back for
last year,
the
last
anime
year they did you know that whole Zoom thing where they were like a table read
Yeah.
of the movie, and he was there, dog. Everybody was playing their role again.
Like, I think people got confused by Chris Evans when he played Captain America. Like, they think
Yeah.
like he's like this serious. He was in, what was it? He was also in the movie like The
Fantastic
Losers. He was also like in The
Losers.
Losers or something.
another cute movie. Like,
Guys, he was in a damn movie that was nothing more than a phone advert.
Yeah,
oh,
cellular.
cellular.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was like 90 minutes of an entire just advertising a damn phone. And I was like, for real?
Can
He
I
was
ask you
in a
guys
lot
something?
of things, man. But yeah, I mean,
When you-
I tried watching the anime. I couldn't go past episode 3. The movie still holds up. Scott Pilgrim.
Can I ask you guys something? It's about Avatar, sorry. The Netflix version, when you guys were rewatching it, did it look or feel a bit different? Like, were there edits to it, or was it
No, I think it's the same. It felt the
It's
same.
the same, yeah.
They just took it and they just put it on Netflix.
Yeah.
They didn't make any changes.
Felt exactly the same.
just making sure?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw there was times where they even kept the ads. I was like, what the hell?
Oh, okay, yeah, no.
Even
They
the
kept the
Nickelodeon.
ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, but
Anyway,
Oh,
so
interesting.
we begin our story with this poor girl who can waterbend, but she doesn't know what she's doing. Who dumps, who caught a fish, but her older brother is being an older brother and is not paying attention.
yo, soccer is like super sexist in the show, man.
Yeah.
What's up
Soccer
with
is,
that?
In the season, maybe.
you know,
Yeah.
No,
everybody.
not this whole season. I think like they sorted out in this season. I think in
Yeah,
book one.
after his interaction with who's that lady? Who's that
The,
girl?
Suki.
Suki.
Is
Yeah.
that Kyoshi Island? Man?
Yeah, that's Kyoshi Island.
I think he was very traditional at this point because he knew that his dad left him in charge, and he was the next in line of being the leader of the place and all of that. I don't know if
I think one of the
going
few
too fast,
things
but yeah, just wanted to mention
one
that.
of the few things we can get to appreciate from this one, and to see that this is basically the creator's love song, is the amount of detail they put in each character and how they all have their own individual character arcs.
Right.
Well, I think that was
That's
like
what-
due to Aaron Eshaz because like if you look at all of the I don't know how you say his last name, but basically throughout all the credits and the production and the writing and all of that stuff, especially like for this episode, apparently he crafted like the guys the writers I forget their names. What's his
Isn't it
name?
Dante and
Yeah, apparently they came up with the concepts, but then Aaron Eshaz would like flesh out the characters. So, for example, I know we're not with her yet. We're gonna get to her in book 2 or whatever. But originally, they were supposed to be like Toph was supposed to be a dude, and there was supposed to be a love triangle between her, between Aang, Toph, and Katara at some stage. And Eren came in and X'd all of that and made Toph this little girl who was blind and all of that stuff.
Yeah. I think even Zuko was supposed to be a potential partner for Katara, but
Yeah.
you see the boulder?
Much
The boulder was actually meant to be tough.
much to the chagrin of the characters, much to the desires of all the fanfics. I still shudder at the thought Zuko and Katara. Oh my god, it's so fine, fire and water. Oh, they're so supposed to be together. No.
Anyway, moving on back to the plot. So yeah. I mean, Sokka was big time.
Yeah.
Like when you watch it, like even as a kid when I was watching it, I was kind of uncomfortable. I was like, bro, you don't have to dump. Like, and that I'm at that age where I'm dumping on my sisters, but I'm not. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. So,
Yeah. I think it's great. Like it shows his progression.
it
also, I think also it was funny. Like that's the other thing.
Yeah. No. Very quickly, Sokka filled the role.
Also,
Filled the role of the comic relief at some cases. You know, the quote unquote sad sack, also quote unquote comic relief character. He sort of slid into that, but from the beginning, he was like the only male who's not an elder. And then when in comes this big ass iceberg, and then Katara's like, "There's someone inside. You need to go save him." See, he's the only voice of reason. Like, girl, there's a big ass rock that just appeared with a person supposedly inside it, and the first thing you think is we gotta help. A little caution, please.
No, I'll tell you now. Team Avatar would not have survived without Sokka.
Yes.
Without him, this Team Avatar would not have made it.
They had 100 times over.
Common sense.
Yo, it's not common.
He was the common sense bender, basically. Like
Yes.
everybody could bend an element, he could bend common sense.
Yes, like
So yeah, they open it and then what's this? After that, Aang falls out or whatever. And the first thing he does is he wakes up and like this is that whole thing where I'm like, yo, at the airbending temple when y'all were talking about detachment and everything, apparently Aang was skipping out on lessons because the minute he sees Katara, he was like, hello.
no,
But I've always
no,
wanted...
no. I always argued about that. You can't say they let go of all detachments. If that's the case, the population would have died out years ago. Why are they still smashing?
But I don't know. Where were the females on Aang's island as well?
Okay.
No, there were there.
Let me put it like this: the northern and southern temples were all the male monasteries, and the east and western temples
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, what happens to the human body when it's in suspended animation for 100 years, though? Like, are you telling me that there was nothing that happened to this guy's body?
He was perfectly. The ice perfectly preserved him.
We have to ask the same question for Ripley if we want to do this.
He was perfectly frozen and then spiritually protected with the frozen ice. So the body did not decay. It did not age. It was frozen.
We need three things. What did you say now? Who do we need to call BuckMeister?
Ripley's believed or not.
Wait,
Ripley's. We need Ripley's. We need Neil deGrasse Tyson, and then we need Mythbusters. We need to call those.
No,
but I'm saying when I said Ripley, I'm talking about Alien because she was also frozen in cryostasis and it was in the future. And if we want to take it even further,
Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America. How did that happen?
Even Inception, people were like in
what's this? Dr. Freeze and Nora and whatever, and he has
powers.
Yeah. So in fiction, it does have its grounding. It doesn't apply in real life. Do you know why? Ice forms crystals. Crystals destroy cells. Anyway, so long as you can't deal with that ice forming crystals nonsense, freezing yourself won't preserve shit, people. You will die.
Message.
I mean, we also got Appa. Appa was also frozen.
Yeah.
It also didn't make sense, but shout out to Appa.
Yang ever okay, we don't know. This is I'm breaking the synchronicity of the law, but I'm pretty sure Avatar Yang Chen was like, if you let that air bison die, I swear to God, I will. The moment I come there, I am killing everyone. The Fire Nation won't be the one wiping them,
Yeah.
wiping out the world.
Because I mean, you could always come up with some Avatar mumbo jumbo as to how Aang survived, but Appa,
Oh, pure
No,
love.
hey, he's connected to Aang, so
Yeah,
the,
like
the, the mumbo jumbo transferred to Appa.
yes.
yeah.
And how many cabbages does he eat in a day?
Appa,
Huh.
Appa eats. Appa is a 10-ton bison.
That's just going back to what Pila is saying, because how are you not hungry for 100 years?
Because you're
Your
because
internal organs are frozen.
frozen.
There's
Your
nothing.
digestion stopped. That's why. I
Your
mean,
heart can stop beating, so you're fine.
You're fine.
to quote almost every single kid, every single Gen Z kid, it's not that deep.
In this
And
case, it actually is. But
The bigger question is, how the hell did nobody find Aang in 100 years?
In 100
He's like in
years?
the most open place ever.
it was the which makes me. This is the part that suspends belief because the asteroid or not the asteroid, the iceberg was underwater this whole time.
And you're telling me
Ice
for 100
floats.
years, it was never exposed?
Ice floats. It doesn't stay underneath shit.
I'm sure the other avatars were bending the elements around
Yeah.
Aang to keep it
Like,
underwater.
you are I am telling the other avatars like you are under house arrest. Do you hear me, young man? You will stay there for 100 years. But mom, don't you butt me? How dare you run away from your duty?
It actually would have made sense if the Water Tribe had tried for years to revive this guy, and some even see him as a god or something. That would have made sense.
But then the Fire Nation would know exactly who to
Yeah,
attack.
and there'd be no chance. Aang wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
Let's-
Ozai would have landed the minute he heard, oh, there's a person who's being revered in the Water Tribe, and he's
Tattoo.
okay,
Die.
everybody
Right now.
die. I don't need Sozin's comment. He's in the iceberg. I can just melt the iceberg and he's dead.
Also, can we explore how dumb Agni Kai is? How the fuck does the
Okay,
Fire
wait,
Nation
we're
get
getting
anything done?
wait. We're skipping ahead.
Okay,
So-
so Aang appears, big beam of light, and then obviously it's like follow that light.
Look, Uncle, what is that?
We meet the most angriest
True.
the most teenager of the whole season. You know, I understand when people's like Asuka to Nasoka is like a misogynist and everything like that. The guy who embodies an angry, misunderstood teenager. Zuko embodied it so well. It's like,
A potential,
Uncle, let's
a-
go.
a potential recruit from Zabon, because Zabon always wanted a teenager with attitude, right?
Yeah,
Alpha,
like,
get me a teenager with attitude.
It's the Red Ranger.
No, Zuko would have let that whole team into the ditch at that point. They had no balance whatsoever. I know Iroh was looking at him like, yo, okay,
why not? It
all
starts
right,
with a,
he's
Also, shout out to
15.
Zuko.
No, but I'm saying like Iroh had to be like, yo, okay, he's 15 and he just been banished by my asshole brother.
you know.
Okay, and I'm having patience. Tea.
That's what, and I like what you also want to note. Maybe I'll wrap it up at the end if I remember. Let me just write this point in reference. I'll write it down at the end because it's a very important lesson you learn from that starts from the beginning episode with Iroh. Iroh's relationship with Zuko that wraps around in the end.
I just want to say something about that, about what just BuckMeister just said right now.
Yeah.
To me, it's two things that I think. I was just thinking about it, looking at it. Like last time I saw it 2 years ago, I was just analyzing Iroh the whole time. I realized this guy, what he's ultimately doing, right? Like he is okay. First of all, we know he's a White Lotus member. We already know this, right? That's number one. Number two, he fought in Ba Sing Se, lost a child, and he quit. Okay,
What
but
is
I don't know. I have no idea. I just said Ba Sing Se balloons, but anyway. So the other, for me, it's like he didn't want another son to die on his watch, right? So that's why he was there. So his mission was not to capture the Avatar. His mission was just to protect this kid.
It's
That's how
like,
I see it. But
yeah, I think Leodon was low-key writing letters to Zuko's mom. Was like, don't worry, your husband is an asshole. I'm so sorry you married this bastard, but he's just banished your son. But don't worry, I'm going to watch over him. I'll keep sending you letters for
No,
correspondence.
do you know how like that panned out with Zuko's mom in the backstory?
Some dog shit, I know.
No, basically what happened is that she was with another dude, but because they found out that she was one of the descendants of Roku, they basically went to go collect her like a Pokemon,
Yes.
forced her to marry Ozai, and then
Oh.
after that, right, basically she had issues where Zuko somehow turned out to be a kind child. So there was speculation as to whether Zuko belonged to Ozai or not. And basically, Ozai started to treat Zuko like he was another man's child, even though it was his child. Because Zuko had a heart
Mm.
for some reason.
which probably came from Roku.
It had to have come from Roku and his mother. There's no way. It's not Ozai, I'm sorry.
That's sad.
But
That's a
Ira
sad
is living
story.
proof that family can possess compassion.
No, I mean Iroh is, but Iroh had to learn the hard way. Zuko had it from jump and they beat it out of him.
They were trying to, they didn't succeed.
Yeah.
Oh, having a cold heart or a sweet heart is not hereditary. I think he's still the Fire Lord's child. It's just that he's happy.
No. It's confirmed that he is the Fire Lord's child. It's just that when he was a child, he wasn't like, for example, Zula from Jump was doing things where you were like, this is Ozai's kid.
Yeah.
She was just doing
Yeah.
things in J. And then, like, even Zuko would be confused watching his little sister do these things.
Bitch,
But
are you
now,
crazy?
yeah. But now he and then he would follow in her footsteps because that's what he thought he was supposed to do type thing. But anyway, we're skipping ahead. So back to Zuko being angsty.
Sorry, just a small tangent. I hope we'll do Finland Saga one day because the more we talk, the more I'm thinking about Canute and how he just switched just because of one incident. But anyway.
Anyway,
this is
so
one thing.
we meet the most angstiest young man. He orders the ship to go pursue. What were they doing in the South Pole in the first place? God knows, because I don't know where they thought like he was. The Airbender is around the world somewhere, but my spirit, it must be Iroh. He sends spiritually, right? She's going down to the South Pole, so let's head there. And Aang being completely naive to the fact that the world is a completely different place, is only interested in having fun.
Now this is
riding
when you see a particular flaw in Aang. For all you people who say that Aang doesn't have flaws, here's flaw number one. Dude does not have a sense of urgency and danger when he needs it.
Yeah, he's scared of actually his destiny. He doesn't want to. It's like he doesn't want this Avatar thing. That's why he ran away in the first place.
He's afraid of responsibility, which is something that you can expect from any
Kid.
Any kid, true.
Yeah.
No, and true, like,
He's
and
the
then,
happy version of Shinji.
Yeah,
He runs
yeah.
Shinji is from where again?
Evangelion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
with
need
other
to-
depression.
Yeah, I actually don't want to watch Evangelion.
Yeah,
I've heard
see?
so
Yeah,
much.
don't do that.
Na
In a good
na
place.
na 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 na
No,
na
I don't know why. Actually, no, we can't. No more tangent. Although
Anyway.
I must say, the one thing I did notice in my rewatch of Avatar was, and I think we've spoken about this before, is like the spitting Star Wars like
Oh no,
inspiration, dude. Like
This-
it is everywhere. Like Master Iroh is basically Yoda but better. Like
Oh, he's so
Yoda,
much better than Yoda.
Obi-Wan.
He's
Yoda
so
is
much better than
Obi-Wan-ish.
Yoda. Oh my god, it's not even
Yeah.
a competition.
but I mean, but you can tell like, oh, okay, this is Yoda.
he's the wise man of the group. The and then the other characters. Yeah, basically it is Star Wars copy and paste. It's Star Wars in D&D.
Yeah, because like even when the stormtroopers arrive on the island, then there's like the smoke and there. I was like, man, this is Star Wars. Man.
Dun, 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 dun. The way Zuko walked in. Dun, dun.
But then they underplay. But they kind of underplay Zuko almost immediately
Yeah,
because I think he slips or something. Something happens, and then he like. Shout out to Sokka though. I gotta say, respect to Sokka. Sokka was about to 1v100.
you are not taking this village without a fight. That's all he said.
On
I
the
think they just
boomerang.
wanted to show us that Zuko is not as evil as we should think he is, if that makes sense. And they like doing that a lot in anime. They like doing that a lot in anime, where you see some comedic moments in some of the villains that you.
Yeah, no, for me, from the get-go, Zuko gave me he didn't give me the super villain of the show. He gave me the Seto Kaiba of the show. If you understand what I'm trying to get,
Yeah.
In that he's still like the antagonist of this part of the story. Like Seto Kaiba was openly antagonistic to Yugi at the get-go, but we don't know. Things might change later on. Whether we don't know at that point. And don't say you did. Don't say you did, readers. We are not talking. I'm talking about the first time you watched it. All you just knew is Zuko's an asshole, but he's not the asshole, because you already heard in hushed tones how much they're referring to the Fire Lord. Like, we must tell the Fire Lord that the Avatar is just a mere child. He's like, a child did this.
No, I mean, like, you also know how scary the Fire Lord is from Zuko's introduction, because you hear that, you look at Zuko's face first off, and you're like, what happened? Because his whole face is like, he was such a pretty boy, but his whole face is seared off to the left, and then you're just like,
we also don't know if it was what caused that scar in the first place.
no, but I'm saying they focus on the scar and they say Fire Lord, so you make the connection, and you're just like, whatever this Fire Lord is, and if it's his dad,
he's lit.
You know?
Disciplinarian. You will not disrespect. I don't know how, but
and while I agree with you with the analogy of Star Wars and Avatar: Last Airbender, the characterization and the sense of dread they gave the Fire Lord gave a whole lot of Sauron vibes for me. Like, he's the veiled evil in the background. He's not necessarily this in your face.
Yeah.
It's the same with Star Wars, basically.
Like Voldemort.
We didn't hear about the Emperor until the second movie, and we saw bits and pieces of him. But this Empire is working for this Emperor. You know.
Wait, didn't Darth Vader talk about the Emperor in A New Hope? He's not as forgiving. Was that not in the first one?
That's the Ten of the Jedi, sweetie.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. No, we like what New Hope does is it does the whole Loki thing. Before Loki, I guess.
Yeah.
Where you think Vader is the big bad, and then when the next movie comes in, then they say no, he just works for the big bad, so the big bad's even worse.
Yeah.
So that's what you get. That's the implied threat. But for me, while we never got to feel how powerful the Emperor was. In essence, in this movie, we just saw the mechanics of the Empire. Empire bad, we must rise to stop it. There's a new Jedi. In this one, the way compared to Sauron is that Sauron, in a lot of the rings, you can feel his malevolence, even though you don't see it in the movies. Yes. You feel, ooh, this is bad. If that person gets this ring, this is over. And you can see his.
No, I was gonna say, since we're on the Star Wars comparison, I cannot without mentioning that Luke Skywalker is the voice of the Fire Lord. Just
that is,
which is just
connection.
No, it's not.
We're not on book 3, guys. We're skipping. Okay.
We hear his voice. We hear his voice.
Oh, right.
But even then, the people. If there's one thing you need to appreciate a lot about Mark Hamill is that yes, he's a very good actor, but he's a brilliant voice actor. My God.
I actually put his voice acting above his acting.
Same.
I put them on par, because like if we look at to deviate, we're on the Star Wars comparison. I think what he was doing in Star Wars, like the trilogy and everything, he managed to play Luke so like naive, but also in a way that the character grew as the movies progressed. Like,
Yeah.
I really think he's a phenomenal actor on
Oh,
screen.
he is.
Like,
He
I'm,
it's,
I'm,
definitely is.
I'm not disputing that. I'm
but like,
just
yeah, I see what. But I'm saying his more iconic performances outside of Luke Skywalker, they're always attributed to voice acting.
the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
The
even just
Joker.
the Joker. Like in
Yeah,
Invincible,
like
when he played
skips
Art,
in regular show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Skips.
Invincible,
Hey,
one of
Rick
his.
and Morty, what
Mm.
up? Like,
Fantastic. Anyway, let's get back to the grind. So I think we're not gonna go through episode and episode. That different. We're just gonna go through our different, our most favorite,
Yeah, I guess highlights like
our
highlights of the
highlights.
show.
Because if we go run through episode by episode, we're gonna go through.
Mm.
We'll be watching it through you, and
it'll be a 10-hour.
yeah, go watch it. We love this thing. That's why we are so passionate about this. I
Although I do
personally,
want to touch on Kyoshi Island because
yeah,
Kyoshi
no,
Island was one of my favorite episodes.
Kyoshi Island is one of the episodes we should touch on. But given that, let's break into our favorite episode. I'll leave it to you, Mr. BuckMeister.
All right, so I mean, okay, I do like that. I do like how their relationships kind of like they grow naturally because Sokka is not into this avatar thing or this bending thing at all. Like at the beginning of it, he's like boomerang, sword, weaponry, things I understand. This
And
bending thing
and the
doesn't make.
flying bison since when? And
Yeah.
the fact that Appa didn't want to fly at the beginning of the show was like this thing can fly since when?
Mm.
And Kitara could barely bend at this point.
Yeah. She was all about it though. I do love that they went to the ship and like, I love that Aang, you get to see that he's also sort of a trickster because he basically gives himself up for the village and then he gets himself out of it because nobody's fought an airbender in like 100 years, so they have no idea what he's capable of, which was really cool as well and all of that stuff.
And points to show his attachments. He still to show that he still has a issue with holding on to attachments. He deliberately went to look through the entire ship looking for his stuff. He could
Yeah.
have left at any moment.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
he needs his
is
stuff.
which is
He
still
needs,
a bit
sure, he needs his.
goofy.
Sure, he needs his stuff to fly. I guess. Let me give him that. But
No, they had Appa. If they needed to get out of there, he could have just
Yeah.
gotten out of there and then figured it out later. But like that's what I'm saying. He's a very clingy character. Like I think people don't notice this about Aang, but Aang holds on to things.
yeah,
Yeah. Also,
Wait,
But
is
it makes
quite
sense. Was
funny
it
to
not was it
see-
not the trauma that made him cling on to
because he
things?
lost everything.
No,
Yeah.
I mean there's that, but I'm saying also before we even get to his trauma, when he was running away from which I don't know if they covered that in book 2 or whatever, but basically part of running from his responsibility
still-
was trying to hold on to this childhood.
No, it's
Because-
still book one.
Oh, it's the
Because
book
there's-
1. Oh yeah.
There's an episode where he meets this fisherman, and the fisherman basically accuses Aang as like, why
Yeah.
we're way in the last 100 years then. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't buy this in the advertised back nonsense. Oh look, who pretend? Nah, where was he this entire time?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
your
oh.
fault the world is like this.
Yeah, that fisherman
Also-
was pissed off, bro.
Yeah,
I also want to note that in that episode where Aang gets captured or whatever, you also get, like you guys mentioned previously, you also get to be aware that Uncle Iroh might be up to something because they capture Aang. He doesn't give a fudge. He's
Yeah.
just like, I'm gonna go and sleep and have my tea. Aang is like escaping. He's just like, whatever.
he breaks into Iroh's robe and he sees him sleeping.
Yeah.
And I think that's why like watching like this is the type of series that you need to watch over and over and over and over and over. Because if you watch it now knowing that he's a White Lotus member, it makes sense.
so much sense.
You know what I mean?
Like
Yeah.
like that, like a lot of Iroh's decisions, like they make so much sense. Like he's never active because if Iroh ever wanted to, especially in book 1, he could have captured Aang pretty
A long time ago.
A long time
Yeah.
ago. He's the Dragon of the West. He's a textbook example of he's like Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that's why I was saying Yoda and
Yeah,
Obi-Wan.
He's Yoda. He's got Yoda's power, but Obi-Wan's demeanor. So it's like so beguiling and disarming. But then you realize this man is horribly powerful.
This guy. Yeah.
And I like the way he's like he doesn't overly involve himself in Zuko's battles. He's seeing that Zuko needs to go through this journey. He's just there to support his nephew.
Yeah,
But he's
and to
not-
protect him.
and to protect his nephew from the world and also from himself, because
Self, yeah.
whenever he gives up, he's there to pull him back together. Whenever he takes things too far, he's there to bring him back to like, hey, what's like any decent parent. But that's his journey. The hunt for the
He's
avatar is.
basically retired, bro. Like this guy is retired from life. His job is just to protect
The
his
more I
nephew.
think about it, the more I see General Konobi. He's a retired general
Yeah, exactly.
living in exile with his watching over what he believes is the chosen one.
Yeah.
Comment below. Iroh is Obi-Wan. Am I right or wrong?
No, he
Well,
is.
unlike Obi-Wan, he didn't create somebody that went to go live with milk and cows and drink in the wilderness when things went left.
It would have been quite a twist if Iroh was like, Zuko, you were the chosen one.
Oh Lord, that would have been so
And
hard.
his apprentice demystifies everything about what he was taught. Wrong. That's not what the Force is. That's
Yeah.
what the Force is.
What are you guys talking about? I thought Star Wars ended with the Return of the Jedi. Are you talking about some fan fiction you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This is some
Yeah,
internet
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. This
On
is
Reddit.
Oh,
internet. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, you mustn't read bullshit from Reddit.
Yeah.
It's not.
Back to Kyoshi Island though, because I think Kyoshi Island is it was a very impactful episode because like it basically told us a lot about the characters. Like I think Katara is at this point in the story, she kind of represents those people who are mystified with the Avatar.
Mhm.
Like I think at this point she still had like Aang as this like below him. I think that's like their relationship is so interesting because Aang for her starts up here, but not something as something to aspire to or to be in love with or everything. She's like something to worship at a point, right? And then we get to Kyoshi Island and Aang is showing off. Aang is being irresponsible. Aang is water. And then basically becomes here where she's like, if I don't watch this guy,
You
This
gonna
kid.
die.
If I don't watch this kid,
it's like if I really don't take care of him, he's really not taking his duties seriously.
You
It's like,
what
could
was he doing?
see.
Was he swimming or something? What was he? Was he
he was
surfing?
right. He was surfing on the koi. He was showing off for the local girl.
Mm.
Yeah, because he learned how to make this little
This
Airbender,
spinning
Squad.
basically
yeah,
a tripod in his hands.
a
And then
Beyblade.
everyone, who remembers that guy who reminds you of every single Pentecostal church? Whenever that happens, like
Oh,
ah!
You know, one of the things that I like
that guy was
about
like
Legend of
dramatic on
Korra,
the
though,
one.
one of the things I like about Legend of Korra is you see adult Aang doing the same pose, dog.
yeah. I was like,
I want to see if I can find that picture.
That was hilarious, dog.
And then, which is fun because I think, wait, Avatar Day when he goes to fend off against King the Conqueror, is it on Earth? Is it on
No, that's
season one?
book two.
That's book two. Okay,
Yeah.
so, what are the other things that happened here? Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
Another thing that was significant in book, another thing that was significant in this book was what Pilla was talking about with the Agni Kai. Yes. So again, we're not going beat by beat. Anybody who wants to do this, just go watch
Oh
the
yeah.
whole show. But like
Shout out to General Zhao.
yeah,
Yeah, I wanted
General
to get the.
Yeah,
I'm
General
gonna.
Zhao.
That's one of my favorite episodes that I wanted to touch on. But please continue.
General is wait, is this Yakon?
No, General
Not
Zhao,
Yakon. What's
General
Sideburns. Remember
Zhao.
him?
the villain in season one, the main villain
Yeah.
in season one.
That
Is-
guy
guy?
wait.
out the moon.
Oh wait, but is he not named? Then I'm confusing characters. I think I was Yakon is Korra, right?
Yes, that's his ex.
I have no
Okay.
idea who Yakon is.
Okay, we'll just call him Zhao. It's the guy that Zuko fights in the Agni Kai, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we'll stick with Zhao.
Yes.
I might be confusing names or whatever. So
Commander
I think that's his surname. But yeah, yeah.
anyway,
General Zhao.
General Zhao. So
I
have to admit that Zuko is one of the most dangerous firebenders to ever have existed because he defeated a general at the age of 16.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that. And what I like about that
Wait,
Agni-
didn't he lose that fight?
No,
No,
he
he
didn't.
beat him definitively.
It started off while Zhao had the advantage, but then Zuko immediately learned to throw him off balance.
Oh.
Thanks,
No,
Uncle
because
Ira.
like Iroh says, break his root, and as soon as it's like sweep the leg, and then
Yes, Sensei.
yeah, it's Sharingan activated, and he whooped the dog out of General Zhao.
That must have been
Like it was
embarrassing.
embarrassing.
That
And then
must.
General Zhao decides, no, I'm going to go land a cheap shot, and Iroh, and that's where you see Iroh is not as weak as you guys assume. Well, he did train. He has been training Zuko this whole time, but the fact that you're like out of nowhere, bah, an entire general behaving like this, how shameful.
And
So like,
what I like about Iroh in that moment, actually, that's one of my favorite episodes. But when it's my turn, I'll just make a small shout out again.
Yeah.
But it's like the way he was respecting General Zhao, despite General Zhao's verbal punches,
Yeah.
tells you a lot about Iroh. Because when he explains who Iroh is and what he did in Basing say, even though he failed, you're like, I mean, this guy is not a joke. He's like a veteran.
We get to properly view see what's wrong with the Fire Nation through Zhao's eyes. We get to see a hint we see a hint of an angry teenager in Zuko, right?
Mm.
But when we see something, what we see in something that's totally wrong, we see something that's wrong in the face of General Zhao. Zhao is manipulative. He's cold. He's calculated. He's backhanded. He is willing to cheat. He's willing to do whatever it takes to get his way. Uh, and he's willing to go to extraordinary lengths to make sure that things happen the way he wants to happen.
He wanted that promotion, man.
No, no,
He wanted that promotion.
he didn't just want to be promoted. He wanted to be. He wanted to
But
be.
Pila, you said you had a problem with the Agni Kai.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what your issue is.
so Agni Kai is a brilliant idea. I'm gonna be a hater. I think it's a great idea, and it's like it shows obviously the fallacy of the nation and how idiotic and how tyrant it is, and the ideology of power wins and power. I think it's a perfect idea. Practically, now I'm just putting it on my practical end. As a fan, it's a great idea. It's great entertainment. As a practical idea, you can't kill people to like make political ideas. At that point, every political person would die in the nation. Because then, let's say, for example, oh, hey, let's have a holiday for, I don't know, Fire Lord, blah, 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 blah. No, I disagree. Well, Agni Kai, now they're going to fight over
I
a
think.
political holiday. Like, and kill each other. Like, it doesn't work.
No, wait. Is there like a whole killing thing in the Agni Kai, or is
Wait,
it?
Yeah,
wait, wasn't it according to certain ranks? You have to be of a certain rank or a certain. You have to be recognized from a certain hierarchical standpoint or something. You don't just do it. It's not just any commoner. That
I'm sure you're absolutely right. I'm sure there has to be some sort
you
of
have to be like a general or a prince or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Because
No, I'm just saying. No, like I'm sure like lower ranking soldiers can Agni Kai amongst themselves, I guess. But like if
Yeah.
you're talking about officials, like I can't be an infantryman and then go to Prince Zuko Agni Kai. Nah, that's not.
Yeah, you're just a wasted resource.
Uh-huh.
Why did you join the army if you're gonna try and
But
bring the
also, but that's what I'm saying. If everyone can agnify people in their own common land, it's a recipe for disaster. It's like imagine now I'm living my life, and then someone's like, "Yo, are those my apples?" Nah, these are my apples. Agni-kai! Now we're fighting. Now we have to die over these apples. Dog.
now
Like,
that
you
I
know
think
what?
about it, it reminds me of
Hmm?
okay, you guys don't play much. Okay, Rob will get it because him and me we are StarCraft junkies.
Oh, flip, we forgot to invite Zuko, by the way. We forgot to invite Lord Zuko here.
Ish.
We'll have him. We'll have him on the Book of Water. The
On
Book
the
of
Book of Earth.
Okay.
What was I? Oh, I was saying, there's in the game I like quoting along StarCraft. There's a subsect of the Protoss called the Tal'Darim, and they basically have something very familiar to this Agnikai type system, but it's not designed as a we are fighting because we have disagreements. It's a way. It's the way they level up basically to the highest position So in essence, that's how they keep the most deadliest warriors in the most optimal position. If you become weak, someone beneath you can rise up and kill you because he can challenge you to what's the name of the thing they called it in the game?
So it's like Afro Samurai now.
Challenge day.
It's something like that.
We will
Rakshir.
not have it too.
Yeah, that's what they called it in the Talmud called it. It's a Rakshir. So what happens is the first ascendant can challenge the current high lord of the Tal'Darim, and only the first ascendant, and so on and so forth.
Although I
It's like
think
that
Killer,
old
to
number
your
two
point,
headband has to challenge
So
the number one headband.
yeah, so the only the way for me it would make sense is that yes, a person who can challenge you it needs to be somebody of a higher rank challenging you
Yeah.
to say, "How dare you insult me? I'll challenge you to an admin." But
Yes.
some lower level person cannot possibly dream to walk up to whoever and say, "I challenge you," because what are you to me? So the
The
only
janitor.
reason, you know, the only reason why Zhao was honor bound to accept the challenge was because Zuko is the crown is a prince. Not even the crown prince. It's just
But
a prince.
the thing is, the reason why, look, Agni Kai could work if it was just a fight. But like, there's so many times where, especially in the first Agni Kai, Zuko wins, and then Zhao is basically like unimpressed with him for not killing him. So in my head, I was like, oh, I guess Agni Kai has to be a fight to the
No,
death.
but didn't they raise the stakes before they fought? Like
no. I think
Like, as in, what do you mean?
the
didn't
Fire Nation
wasn't
is
it
like a
just
raging
supposed to be a
psychopath.
regular fight?
I think Zhao is. No, it was supposed to be regular, and I think
Yeah.
Zhao was trying to get into Zuko's head because he was
Yes.
trying to do this thing of Zuko, you're a weakling, you don't even finish the job, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Like Zhao is a psychopath. Like
Yeah.
also like Ozai. Ozai is insane. I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of people who are just like regular. Like there's a lot of soldiers, like you see them. There's
Yeah.
one of them were talking about
Yeah.
whose birthday is it? Is it my birthday? Like,
Just with
that's
that.
a
Also,
that's
Zhao and the pilot are the exception. Then. Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
let's
from what
Because
I
and,
understood on the show,
and
like
let's not
there's
forget
people who are
Azula.
just nuts.
Azula, yeah, and Ozai's father, but
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it was
Oh,
just a normal fight, but Zhao was just like finish the job. Nigga, this is not war. It's
yeah.
just a
No,
fight.
No,
Relax.
Yeah.
also, if I kill you, I'm literally gonna be more of a criminal than I am right now.
Dude, my
Like,
honor gone. What are you talking
what?
about?
No. Don't forget it's Zuko here. If he kills Zhao, the only thing that's gonna get is a letter with a thumbs up from Dad. It's like
True.
if Zhao lost to you, then he must have been pathetic.
Exactly.
What?
no. Remember, Ozai literally had. I mean, okay, I don't know if this is in. Is it in book one? Do we get the backstory in book one? I
Yeah,
can't remember.
because you remember the same episode where Aang got yelled at by the fisherman. That's when you get a
Right, the
backstory
backstory of Zuko. Yes,
what happened to Zuko.
basically because they're doing the whole duality thing.
Backstory.
Yeah.
Anyway, but like I'm saying, Ozai challenged Zuko because Zuko challenged one of Ozai's generals. I
Correction.
think,
No, correction. Zuko spoke up against a very, very
During a
yeah.
stupid.
meeting.
But I'm saying
Ve-
that's what I'm saying. It was taken as a challenge because he was challenging
uh,
a general's perception of how the war should go or something or whatever.
and then Ozai decided, you know what? For that insolence, you must go. You must face it. You must go into an Agnikai. Zuko, with his dumbass, thought, oh, he's going to fight against this geriatric old man. Fine, bring it. Little did he know.
That was
See,
the
and
day
that's
he
a
lost his
prime
pretty face.
example of how the hell do politics work in this place. Yeah, yo, I think we should do something else. Fight to the death. Our
You're going
fight
to.
right
You
Bro,
are
now.
going to get.
if you're gonna bring that if you're gonna bring the politics topic in Naruto as well, then it's gonna be tough. But just
Yeah,
yeah,
hey.
we'll get there.
Hokages are dictators.
Foreshadowing. Foreshadow.
Hold on. Okay. Anyway, back to it. So I'm saying that in that particular instance, right, Ozai is not somebody who tolerates disrespect.
No,
Mm.
he isn't.
So if Zuko, while being exiled, killed one of the generals that are leading one of the things in the army, it's going to be a problem. That's why Iroh even tells Zuko to back off after once the Zhao takes his cheap shot. Because he's
Yeah.
like, we don't need this right now.
You
Like
do
he
have a point.
like he always keeps telling Zuko, you don't think about these things. Because Zuko thought about it. Like when Zuko turned around, had Iroh not been there, it would have been Zhao's ass. Like
But I guess you could also say that Iroh had already given up on his brother, so he was hoping that he could at least change his son.
oh, big time,
Big time. At the same time, you see this wonderful picture. There's this wonderful picture where you see Ares playing with a little baby, and then you see there are two cases. There's one who's obviously Lutan, and then there's a baby that is playing. And then you realize, oh, he's been playing with baby Zuko this entire time. This whole time,
Mhm.
Ozai refused to even acknowledge that baby. But so
That is long game. Sorry, I'll let you. Please go ahead. I'll make my point when you're done. Sorry.
no, I'm just acknowledging that Iroh has been more of a father to Zuko than
The Ozai.
than Ozai.
But my point is like it's even. Let's say take the Avatar out of the equation. Iroh is amazing because if you think about the long game, would be that when the Fire Lord eventually dies, then and now you fathered Zuko, he would become the better Fire Lord, and he could kind of change
Yeah.
oppressive dictatorship. So it's
Well,
actually
Would easily be his advisor as
but
well.
that wouldn't work because before you die, you need to be acknowledged. The Fire Lord needs to acknowledge you as the successor or not.
And like at that point, he was looking at Azula.
Yeah. So
Like I think,
Civil War.
yeah,
which
Yeah.
no,
happens. That's
yeah, I
And
guess.
also Zuko wanted his uncle to actually defeat his dad, and his uncle was like, "No, it's not my fight; it's yours." Whatever.
Okay, hold on. That's book 3 stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, getting back to this though, I think another episode that was a big one was okay. I guess
Are
we
we
can
talking
start
about
going
big
to
episodes or favorite episodes?
well, I don't remember everything like in
what are your
detail.
favorite? What are your favorite episodes, Mr. Extrodin?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Buck. Were you done?
No, I'm you can take it from here. I'll come back to what I was talking about later.
Uh, it's like now that I'm put on the spot, I'm forgetting these episodes. But I think one of the first ones that really had a huge impact on me, apart from the Agnikai one, which is for me that was a huge one. I would say when Kitara actually challenged the water
Oh,
tribe. Yeah,
Parkour.
because he was also misogynistic, you
Big
know.
time.
So it's like I can't do this to my brother, but I'm gonna do this to this old man. You know what I mean? And
No, it's one of those episodes, and I so wished. I'm glad she didn't win the fight, but but at the same time, the child in you felt like, girl, kick his ass, kick
yes,
his ass so bad.
yeah. I mean, he's also a member of the White Lotus, but I guess she proved a point. You know what I mean? She proved a point to that man that look, I might be a girl, but I'm a bender,
No,
and
I think like one of the things that somebody pointed out that was interesting about Avatar: The Last Airbender and how it's written is that outside of the Fire Nation, the whole world is kind of misogynistic,
Yeah,
which is really interesting. Like outside of the Fire Nation, because the Fire Nation they put bending over everything.
yeah,
I don't care what you have, I don't care where you come from, I don't care or what you orient, whatever. Do you bend? Are you good? You're in the army.
yeah.
That's because like
even
Azula
the
was
airbenders were misogynistic. You think?
No.
not
But at
not
that point,
necessarily. I'm just talking
the
about
airbenders were
when
wiped out. So
yeah, like they didn't have any. But I'm saying like in terms of where we are now, it will
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
win because I mean even like like what's this like when we look at like the water tribe and everything, all the women usually are healers. None of them were fighters outside of Katara.
Yeah.
but then in the southern hemisphere, man, woman, bitch, if you can bend that water, you can fight.
Mm.
And that's the big discourse of you saw your southern tribe get wiped out. The men have gone out there and they're busy raiding different places in the world. They do meet their dad. She's also a bit pissed off that, dad, why did you leave? Because it is kind of a bullshit move.
Mm.
It's okay. That's book 3 again. We'll
No,
debate the
No,
ethics of
book two.
that.
it's
Book two as
it's
well.
still
Oh,
book
book
one.
2.
It's still book one. Oh no, they don't meet the dad. They meet the other guy who teaches,
Yeah.
makes Appa go through the rite of passage.
Oh, that's another episode that I did want to touch on as well. Like I think that was a big
Who's gone now?
that Aang has is that he's got abandonment issues. He's
Yeah.
got big time abandonment issues, and like he's scared people are gonna leave him.
Mm.
So like that was a big one where he hid the letter, and you were like, "Yo," but you didn't know. And then you get to see the maturity of Sokka, because that's another thing about Sokka that you learn is that after he learns his lesson about how to treat women and all of that stuff, he really gets a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just wanted to mention the episode with Boomy.
Oh,
I
right,
think
right,
it was
right,
the
right,
very
right.
first episode I've actually watched of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Initially, I didn't like it because I didn't really get much context. I just thought this guy is a Goku clone. But after I watched it in sequential order, man, that's one of my favorite episodes because it also shows you another White Lotus member and how he behaves. They're like, okay, this is basically if General Iroh was a king of a kingdom, he would behave exactly like this.
That episode always makes me laugh. They're like, okay, King Boomy, these people have been vandalizing you, using your slides, and it's like, what shall we do to them? Execute them. What set of comments like these are kids.
The cabbage guy.
The cabbage guy was like, are
Off
you
with their heads.
one for each head of cabbage? I was like, they are kids. Look
Bro,
at
I was
them.
like, bro, I was looking at it that you have. I'm sorry. You are way too upset for this stand that you have because you are not raking it in. I'm sorry, like the cabbage is not making that
It's not
type
the
of money.
first time they threw all the cabbages. Your soldiers, the guy soldiers at the gate were like, "These, you call these cabbages? Boo! Whee! My
But also,
cabbages!"
shout out to Cabbage Man, because that dude has been in business until even the Legend of Korra, dog. That nigga has
He's
been
been
pushing.
trying. He's hustle culture. This is what you call real hustle culture right here. And then okay,
Cabbage Man.
King Boomy goes like, "Show them a feast." Oh, you don't eat meat?
It is interesting, because it shows you. Oh, wait a minute. Now that I think about it, apart from book 3, did we meet all the Lotus members? White Lotus?
No. No. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Except for
We
one.
met except for one.
That's
No.
what I'm saying. Apart from book 3, because the
No.
other one was
Also, book 2. We meet one in book 2. So
Which
we
one?
meet 3 of them
the fire guy.
we meet 3 of them in book 1. Yeah, it's the fire guy. We
The
meet
fire
3 of
guy
them.
is in book 2.
Is it book
Is it also
1?
book 1?
Yeah.
No, he can't be in book 1 because
Yes,
remember.
he is.
Is he?
Yeah.
He tried to teach Aang. Aang didn't listen, made the big
Yes.
fireball. Bent Katara bent her hands and tried to heal herself. And then General Zhao crashed the party and then
Right, you are right. You
Oh,
are right.
damn.
All right.
Jean
All
Zhao
of them, we met all of them in
In book 1.
Jean was Zhao's master. So it became one of those it became it became no, it actually became Obi-Wan versus
it was basically it was the Jedi and the Sith.
it was one of
Sith
those
Lord versus
Yeah.
apprentice versus Sith Lord.
From my perspective, the Fire Nation is evil.
yeah. Because it's like you
Then you are lost.
and he also gave the same speech like the Avatar is far more powerful than you will ever be. You can strike me down, but this one is more powerful than you are. He has more talent. I have found a true apprentice. It's the same toy. It's always the same talk. Anyway,
I did like how Aang beat Zhao in that fight as well. I think because a lot of people kind of underestimate Aang as a combatant because simply he's got air nomad principles, which are very contradictory depending on the situation, Like I'm saying, you hear about Avatar Kyoshi, and she was like the best of the airbenders, and you're just like, but
anyway.
Those morals are very, very flimsy. They bend like the wind
If
most.
there's one thing you need to learn about airbenders is that everything, don't have attachments, including attachments to the rules.
Hey, Them rules be wishy-washy at
Like
some stage.
you want to kill this person? Go ahead, flame him off a cliff.
Yo, Mr. Extraordinary, do you have other moments? Or you still, it seems
Um,
like you're also deep in thought.
yeah, no, I'm just trying
Yeah.
to think of another because I mean, in as much as we're touching book one, we are very like being very
Sporadic, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
sporadic, but also very like we're going into detail, which is very good because I'm reminded of some of the moments that we had in there. Um, no, man, I think we meet Jet in book two, right?
Nope,
No, book
book
one.
No, it's
one.
book one. That's book one.
Yeah, I
So
think
much,
also,
you know.
I mean, let's
I
be
think
honest. That whole Jet thing is Robin Hood. Let's be honest. It's Robin
But
Hood.
Jet
But
was wilding. Like
exactly.
again, Detective Sokka. Sokka is the Batman of the Avatar universe.
It's what I like about soccer in this episode is that it starts with everybody disrespecting him because he said, "No, our instincts are to walk. I feel like we should walk at this point." And then they're like, "I'm tired of walking. What walking's so dumb?" It's like, you know what else would be done? What else we should listen to? Soccer's instincts. And then the end of the episode, it was his instincts that saved the day because he
mm,
thought, "Let me go warn people at the village," and then that old man that he saved is the one like, that guy's a good guy. Let's listen to him. And
mm,
he evacuated the town just because of his instinct saying they won't make it in time. Let's get the town empty in the
No,
first.
I mean even at the beginning of that episode, his logic is sound. He's like, if we fly, this is a big bison, and like the Fire Nation is going to see us.
right,
No, we're walking.
right.
I mean, this show is really
Tara,
good.
and they remind you. Yeah, like they remind you that Aang and Katara are petulant children because they're literally whining the entire time, and Sokka's the only one like, I have to be a friggin' adult here, and I can't do any bending whatsoever. Like, if we go up in the sky, they will fire upon us, so we cannot be seen. But then, unfortunately, the universe says, "Practical joke on you. Here's a Fire Nation camp."
But I think, one thing I've noticed about Team Avatars is,
Am I back? I was gone for a
yeah,
moment.
one thing I've noticed about
Yeah,
Team
me too.
Avatars is the Avatar is not the leader. Like, if you really think
No.
about it, the Avatar
They
is
can't
not
be.
the leader. He can't be,
Mm.
or she cannot be the leader. Someone else has to be in charge. And in this
Yeah,
one, it's definitely Sokka.
yeah, no.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
him.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
this line is
Well,
breaking.
I
Hello,
like
am I back?
that's
Yeah,
the
you're
thing that's
back.
really interesting about the Avatar,
Okay, I
and
think I
especially
need
like,
to. I think I need to move it to. We need to move to a more intimate setting again. So please hold on while I move to.
all right, we'll keep it going, Chief.
Sorry,
Just
Buckminster, you
remember,
saying?
I want flowers first. But anyway, um, basically, I was saying like that's the thing that's interesting about the Avatar is that they're not technically a superhero, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like they can't actually be a super, like they can do heroic things, yes, like they're humans, they have desires, etc., etc., but their function in particular is to make sure that the things are balanced. So if you ever put an avatar in a position of leadership, it's going to be straight up disaster because they can't start making unilateral decisions.
Yes, they shouldn't be biased in the decision making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So without Sokka, and also I'm just saying, Aang himself, he's not leadership material.
No.
He's not the guy that you're going to make that's going to call the plays. He's basically your impact player that's going to win you the game. But he can't be the one making the
He's not
decision.
the captain,
He
he's the
can't be the
quarterback.
captain. He's
Mm.
he's the striker basically. He's not
Right.
like he's not the midfielder that's going to be saying this guy needs to go there, this guy needs to go there. What.
Right. But then who would
Who
be
does he
second in
want?
command? Do you think would be
No,
Zuko?
it's Katara, big time. Second command is Katara because
Oh, yeah.
she's the one that holds the group together when things are going sideways.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay,
Aang
I'm
is
back.
he's never the solid. Oh, there you are. Aang is never like the
Oh,
solid ground
I
of
don't
the
have
group.
flowers, but I can give you hearts. There you go. Are you
Oh, okay.
happy?
I'll take it. Anyway, I was saying like Aang is never like the solid ground of the group because he can't be. He's never the root or the foundation. He always has to be kind of like the wings or the air. Like he pushes the things along, sure, but he never decides the direction. ever.
I think what or to okay, maybe I might be contrary to a bit or a little bit or something like that. Aang can't be the leader because Aang still has to learn how to become the Avatar at this point in time.
Mm.
You know, we don't have many arcs or stories where we have a fully fleshed Avatar and what he's doing throughout the world. Because when that happens, then we get to see whether this Avatar thing can act as a leadership. It can act in a leadership role or not.
I
But
mean,
right
there's
now,
Was a leader, he wouldn't be a leader in Team Avatar, if that
no,
makes sense.
you wouldn't because he wouldn't be. At this point, Sokka is like the head strategist. He's the also who gives tactical advice. But he's not the primary combatant. That's what I want to
Yes.
say. Like in combat, it defaults to the people who can
Yeah, he's
can
like
do the most
the
damage.
Batman, Cyclops type.
Yeah.
But what
So
I was saying is that
yeah,
I mean we have Kyoshi, sure, but like I'm saying like Aang, he's not like the Avatar doesn't make It's not like when armies or kingdoms are forming, they're like, what do you think, Avatar, or whatever? Like, they have to kind of abstain from it because if they start picking sides, then it starts throwing things out of balance. So
The
I
nation
think the nice
it'll be
thing,
civil war,
yeah.
basically.
So like the
Okay.
nice thing with the group, right, is that Aang is never making unilateral decisions for the group, and it's a nice commentary on what the Avatar is supposed to be, because he knows his mission is to defeat the Fire Lord. How he gets there, he has no clue. So basically, people like Sokka and Katara and Toph need to make sure that he gets
and
to where he is so that he can, complete his destiny per se.
and he
Like
also
whenever they talk about destiny in, sorry, this last thing.
yeah.
Whenever they talk about destiny in the Avatar, it's not like destiny in it's predestined in that this is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's always that this is his duty, but
Yeah.
he could die well before he gets there.
True that. Shout out to also which episode was it where they were those two rival family clans and they had to go through that weird pass?
Which some people consider
Oh
filler, but it's not.
no, it's the I forget it.
It's still one though, right?
Yeah, no, it's still book one.
Shout out! Do you notice how many crazy things happened in book one?
Hey,
Hey, book one was
The
packed.
more I'm talking, the
this
more we
is
are
when
talking about it, the more we're like,
this is when
"Whoa."
series were still like long, like 22 episodes long.
Even then, compared to the amount of let's compare to the amount of things that happens in book two compared to this one. This one is more world building, and then book two is more streamlined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, book two is more character focused because
Yeah.
they start
Yes.
getting to build up
Because
to the Fire
the
Lord.
world is already established at that
Yeah,
point.
but the book one, we have
Also, shout out to Aang being a liar because the bro just made up a whole story just to make these people get along.
It's as if they wrote themselves in a corner there. I think that's why people have issues with that episode. But you're right. Like they travel to the air temple, they go to the North Pole, the South Pole. There's a lot that happens. He gets trained by a fire master. Like
Oh, because yeah, book one also is where he meets the other people who are living at the air temple as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah,
And one of my favorite episodes is when what's it call it? When they meet John and he teaches begs him to teach him firebending, and he flat out refuses, like, no, you're too weak. And then you just see Roku's like, Aang, give me the phone, please. So I'm weak, am I? Like, oh no, not you.
how did he talk to him again? How did he reach him? How did Roku reach John?
He literally had a vision, and it was like in the middle of.
Well, yeah, I think it's that thing of spirituality. So if you're like inclined to the spirits, also like John was like a hermit, so he was like connected to the spirits and everything.
Yeah.
So I believe that if you're connected to the spirits and you're talking to a spiritual being, an avatar can, and depending on your connection to that avatar, because John, I'm sure was one of those, like he was one of those people that worshipped Roku when Roku was the avatar worship, but like he was in all like, yeah,
100 years ago.
not 100.
100 years ago.
Yeah, I'm saying that I'm sure he was like in reverence of Roku, not back then. I'm saying not he was alive when Roku was alive. Like
Okay.
he was probably there at the
believer.
temple, and he was a believer in Roku and the temple and all of those things and et cetera, et cetera. So
Yo,
I'm.
do you know how many things happen in season 1? Okay, it's that.
Oh yeah, because the solstice also happens in
That's
season
all
Yeah,
one.
just happened.
yeah, dude. There's a lot that happens. Like Aang gets
Can you
kidnapped and
imagine?
Zuko starts wearing a mask and then he's a vigilante.
Oh yeah, the blue. What was it?
The Blue Spirits.
The blue spirit.
And
Mm.
then General Zhao becomes Admiral Zhao, gets
Yeah.
promoted.
Yeah, he
I don't
gets
know
he
how.
gets his promotion.
I don't know how that works because Admiral implies that he's in charge of an army.
Yeah, he became in charge of an army. That's
No,
what he
yeah.
wanted.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
if we get to the no, but I'm saying if we go to the end of book one, he
Yeah.
was leading an army.
Maybe I am confusing the different terminologies because Admiral and General are the same titular level given on ground forces, General, and naval forces, Admiral. They're the same
Oh,
level.
okay.
So maybe I'm confusing. Maybe it was Captain Zhao or something like
Yeah,
that.
it would have to be Captain
Yeah, maybe
Zhao.
he was
Whatever,
captain.
yeah.
Then he became Admiral.
I
That
mean,
makes
he got that
General.
he got that slick moment with the arrow guys
is
where
like
basically they made him take over, and he
like
just like and then he told the guy that was denying him, he was like, yeah, now
oh,
that
you just
request has been in
become
order.
it's now in order. It's like fuck you. But yay! I hope you choke on. I hope you take that order and choke on it.
But
I'm
he was stubborn, eh? But
I'm very
I guess
sure.
his what he wanted to do actually came to fruition instead of listening to that other guy. So
I've got to appreciate how um, I'm sure that General was feeling so good about himself when Aang escaped. Like, oh, the Avatar escaped. So now,
Hmm.
so what happened to those precious archers of yours? Were they that powerful? Did they work?
but he does make season one interesting, even though I didn't really like the last few episodes of the season, but I think General Zhao really carries the season
I
as a villain.
I love the last
The
episode, though.
Siege of the North is my favorite episodes, and I can give you I could go into a dissertation for days about why.
Mhm. What's
Because
your
No, I mean,
here,
also
favorite
like with the
anything
Blue
about every
Spirit. Before we
episode?
move on, because we touched on the Blue Spirit, I also really like how that kind of started setting up it early. It started setting up the Zuko redemption arc,
yeah,
Yeah.
like, because basically Aang doesn't leave him behind.
Yeah.
Like technically, Zuko did save Aang. Yes, it was for very selfish reasons, but he did save him. And then also, like, Zuko didn't, like, yeah, Zuko took advantage of it, but there was a point in time where they were fighting side to side. So it was just like, yeah, okay, so this guy, he's complicated, you know? He's not General Zhao or
yeah,
Admiral Zhao or whatever. Like, there's more to Zuko than what's going on.
yep.
Yeah.
So we get to we get to see a different side of Zuko. We get to see a side that's desperate because he wants his honor back. He wants his life back. And when the situation presents itself to like Zhao saying, I'm the best one here, I'm more competent, there's an actual threat to the nation. I'm not here to play with your emotions to fulfill whatever you honor you think you're going to fulfill. Because let's be honest, originally this go kill the Avatar thing was just a way to get you out of court. There was no. There was no real redemption arc for you. It was just me playing, just your father trying to get rid of you. But
Yeah.
now we see the Avatar's back. He's not just a fantasy. He's a real threat. So I'm
Mhm.
not gonna leave it to a kid
Yeah.
to go arrest. So
Kid
from
that
a
whooped your ass, by the way.
yeah, he may have whipped my ass, but still, I have resources. I have an army, and you just tell me there's
And
a
I have a lot
legitimate
of
threat.
experience. I'm qualified.
And let's not forget, another kid beat your ass because not only did not only did Zuko beat you and beat you.
But I think it also
No,
shows you that
Aang is the Avatar. Zuko is more embarrassing because you were supposed to be
No,
Firebender
it's how
prime material.
it's how Aang beat you that's more embarrassing for me. It's basically the fire bending version of stop hitting yourself.
mm, but that also shows you the spiritual side of I guess the spiritual side and the more
Mm. No,
physical
there's a
side of combat in that sense.
and the more you pay attention, the more you see just how much um law and information and lessons are being deposited
In the
Into-
fighting.
in the fighting, in the storyline. I mean, one of my favorite lines about John John and the reason he wanted to refuse Aang in the first place is like, listen, pay attention. A rock won't do anything to you if you just leave it there. Water won't kill you unless you're in it. Fire is alive, and if you don't get the responsibility of fire, it can consume and hurt everyone around you. That's why in training montage, it starts with if you're an airbender, you need to learn the stability of, you need to learn the discipline of
Just
water.
a second, gents. I'm gonna be back right now.
Sure.
You need to learn basically first learn water bending and then earth bending and then end up with fire because the other legs of the table basically teach you the discipline it needs for you to control this fire. And you don't see that up until later on in the episode that Aang's impulsive nature plus fire bending equals danger
It disqualifies him from actually learning firebending at this point.
at this point. But
Because there was still a lot, he was still adapting to this new world.
mm,
He was still trying to sort out a few issues that with people around him, like, rescuing people here and there. So he was definitely not ready for this training.
and the way he teaches Aang about the fire is also a very important principle. It's like the hottest source of fire is the sun, but look at how it lives in harmony with all nature.
Right.
That is the key responsibility of every firebender. Be as hot as the sun, but also be in balance with everything around you. Those things went through in Aang's one ear and out the other, but everybody who keeps watching it, you thinks like, wow, okay, that's some deep ass shit.
Also, Zhao didn't pay attention to any of
Of
those
course
teachings.
not. He wanted power. But those are the things Jean learns later on. He also started off as, I want power, I want to be strong.
Yes.
And then when he saw the destruction he was causing with his fire, then he sought to find balance.
Yeah.
So he's like he's also like an Obi-Wan in that sense.
Sorry, Pila, what are your favorite episodes, man?
Favorite episode? I mean, I think a good episode that I don't think we spoke about was, I guess, Aang's first trip to the air temple where he finds out everyone's dead.
Oh,
And sees Kiatsu's bones.
Yeah, sees Kiatsu's bones, and I guess that's the first time we see Roku.
And
the
Momo.
whole-
no, we see
And
Roku
Momo.
where?
Well, we see a statue of him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, and then Momo.
Am I back?
Yeah,
Can you
back.
guys hear me?
Welcome back. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he even goes into the Avatar state.
He does.
Um,
And that's how everybody finds out that the Avatar's returned because he goes into the Avatar state. The statues in the air temple, the eyes, the eyes glow all the way up. All those statues start glowing. The Earth temple, all these eyes in that big Devaraja drawing, they start glowing. And then the fire temple, Roku's eyes, like inform the Fire Lord at once. The Avatar has been found.
It shows you that if he didn't have the siblings, the Water Tribe siblings with him, he would have probably done something as drastic as what he did that got him to be frozen in ice in the first place. You know what I mean? So having someone to calm him down and let him know that, look, it's okay.
I mean, Katara was trying to hide the truth from him the entire time during that whole thing.
He's
She
not
was
ready.
just trying to,
He's not ready.
yeah.
He's
Like
not.
Sokka was just like, pull it off like a band-aid. Just like just.
Yeah, because I would have done the
They
same.
were here. What are we supposed to do?
I would have been somewhere in the middle of like, we found the armor. Hey, I need to show you something, but I need you to be calm. Walk with me. This is a Fire Nation armor, which means the Fire Nation has been here. Oh, maybe you could go into denial, but it's like, just explain. You see what's going on. Something's
But
happening.
even if you did that, I think it still would have.
Because
I think the thing is, if you prepped him for Gyatso, maybe it would have been better. Because like, if he's even going into the whole denial, no, there's like there's in the back of his mind, he knows the truth type of thing. Whereas at this point, he doesn't know anything. So we open on Gyatso's corpse.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, oh my.
But also, like, wouldn't you feel responsible, wouldn't you feel like it's your fault that you ran away
Yeah.
only to
Because
find out that your entire bending nation, tribe, whatever you want to call it,
your whole people have been
they're
uh,
extinct basically.
uh,
Like
uh,
No,
uh,
I would
there-
blame himself, yes. But I'm
there's a
saying,
word
like,
I
if
want.
you
There's a word I want to use, but it's going to be a very controversial word here, so I'll refrain from using it. So
okay.
yeah, it's
Anyway,
not
what I'm
sided.
saying,
It rhymes with it's not side.
huh?
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's fine. We get it. No.
Okay.
okay, you'll explain later because I'm confused.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
like I was saying, I think like yeah, if you could ease him into it such that even though he would have an emotional reaction, he wouldn't be going into the avatar state. Because remember, Aang has plenty of emotional like reactionary moments, but he doesn't go into the avatar state, so it's not extreme.
Mm.
So I think you could like ease him into it where it doesn't become an extreme situation where he's creating giant tornadoes.
Hey.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And at the same time, we have Kitara. I think just to go like, my mom died. I know how it feels like. I was like, girl. Okay.
Is that what she said to him? I thought she just hugged him until he calmed down.
No, they were busy yelling at him, and they're like, it's happened, but blah blah blah. We're together now, something like that.
Yeah, those kids actually had a huge burden on their shoulders.
Hey,
If you really think about it, like having
containing a nuclear weapon, basically.
yeah, and also like having to like okay,
It
if there was
begins.
an avatar in real life, I'm telling you, elderly people would be the ones that are responsible for this individual. You know what I mean?
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
You know what I'm saying though?
No, no, it sounds.
No,
You
no,
just mentioned.
I get it. Cora, yes, no, I get it. But the fact that children who are like one can't even water bend properly and another can barely
He
like
has a
use a
boomerang.
boomerang are responsible for this kid who has to restore balance to the world.
Mhm.
It's crazy. It's a lot of it was a lot for them, but
Shout
they
out
never.
to grandma. Shout out to grandma for sending him off. Like grandma's like, yeah, kids, he's the avatar. Go.
I think grandma is because grandma had acknowledged Sokka as the leader.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
no,
there's that also, but like, was this Katara wanted to learn how to bend,
Right.
yeah,
and probably the best way she was going to do that is hanging around the Avatar, which is what happened. So
Mhm.
and she also steals the scroll that teach them wonder bending, and then you find out that boy is more talented than you give him credit for, honey.
So
no, I
so
mean that was also an interesting episode about Katara because I know a lot of people like to say, "Oh, Katara is just she has no flaws or really," and I'm just like, you guys just
She's a
watch the story.
thief. She's a
mhm.
Like
goddamn complete
she gets
thief.
like ferociously jealous. Like when Aang starts bending things, like basically she's like, "Yo, I need a leg up on this dude."
Spends more
All of a
time
sudden she's
practicing.
jealous because of the
Yeah,
Kyoshi Warriors.
and
But
then
sorry, Peter,
also
is there
like
another episode that you wanna
just
touch?
before you
uh,
go, I just wanted to just say quickly, I like how basically soccer calls her out in the episode because like they do that a lot. There's a lot of back and forth where everybody's calling out everybody in team Avatar
Mhm.
in the gang, I guess. And Sokka was like, "You literally risked our lives for some bendy, loopy thingies or something like that." I forget what he
Yes.
said.
I'm sorry.
And she was like,
Shiny
"Well,
things.
technically, I was stealing from stealers, so it's not stealing."
Yeah, no,
What?
I'm stealing from pirates, so it
From
doesn't matter.
Pirates. Yeah.
um,
I don't think the story really knew where it was going at that point because we never really see Pirates ever again after that. You
You
know?
do,
No, we see them again. They get hired to do. They get hired to try and kill Zuko.
Zuko.
Oh, but what I'm trying to say is like it just seemed like they were not really sure where the story was.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they had
yeah.
an idea of the end probably, but the middle it seemed like they were still animifying this whole journey thing.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And
Phila, you were saying.
it's
yeah,
also.
I mean,
Well, I'll continue, Pila, because before we go on about that episode, because I wanted to just highlight this one of my favorite fight scenes, because there's that funny moment where there's smoke everywhere, and like, Sokka, where are you? I'm over here. Follow my voice. It's like, wait, let me clear this map. Voo. and he sees he's surrounded by bad guys. Like, oh, okay, Shoot. Never mind.
No, I
Anyway,
mean, a favorite. The thing is, like, this show is like really well written, I must say, especially for an Act One. Obviously, I think this is. I don't know if it's better than Book Two. I think Book Two might be slight. I think I need to rewatch Book Two. For some reason, this one is just more memorable in my head
Mm.
than Book Two, so it might be better. I don't know, but I think everybody knows Book Three is where the show reaches its.
Book 3 is my favorite, bro.
But like in terms of great moments in the season, I have to agree with BuckMeister. I think the last two episodes are like where it's at for this. Oh, you didn't say that. Oh, my bad.
No, no,
Well,
no, no, no. I did. I was just saying that I'm remembering it in my head, and I was like, "Yo, that thing went hard."
yeah, I
Those
think
last
like
two
the
episodes.
the last two episodes, because like Avatar and War, it just works. I don't know what it is,
yeah.
but it works really well for me, and I think those two episodes are definitely when I first watched the show stuck in my head, and even now those two episodes stick in my head for numerous reasons. I mean, there's so much happening in those two episodes, but I think they tick 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 everything.
There's so much character development. Like you get to see Katara's growth as a waterbender because she basically not handles Zuko, but like they're even at some point. And you're just like from where she started, where she
Yeah.
could barely move a little puddle of water, to now she's going toe to toe with a firebending master because like Zuko's a master to me at
Yeah.
that point. Like he's already
Yeah.
defeating people that are way above his pay grade and all of that stuff. And like yeah, and
She was
he had
also
to
a
do it
master
the
at
hard
this
way.
point, I guess. She was master level at this
No,
point.
I think she was approaching master level. I don't think she was at
Like
master yet.
intermediate
Yeah,
type.
she
I
was. She
like.
was. Yeah.
No, I like one of the best lines they say, especially in those final episodes, is when she was fighting against Zuko, and then she traps him in that ice storm, and then you just hear Zuko, "You little peasant, you
Mm.
found a waterbending master, haven't you?" And then you just see him glow and pull a Vegeta, basically, because you know that's a Vegeta move. Whenever he gets trapped into something,
Yeah.
Yo, Zuko's got a hell of Vegeta energy in this book, dude. Like
Yeah.
even the speeches, like
Yeah.
all those, I will find the Avatar and I will
Restore
regain
my
my
honor.
honor. And it's like he's like even when he's like
my
I've
sister.
been through so much, but it makes me
Yeah.
stronger.
Super
I'm like,
Saiyan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
jeez, dude.
It's those guys.
Monologue.
Like
And
my
ta-da, the
father said that my
pins.
sister was born lucky. I was lucky to be born.
Born.
But I'll show him. I'll show them all. I was like, oh, all right.
But I
then
think just
hang
fun
on,
fact. A
the
fun fact.
episode with that lady with that thing that ugly ass mole tiger thing.
Oh, the
That was
tracker
also
lady. Yeah.
that was also book run.
Yeah, it's also book one. Oh, that's the village. That's the village where the lady could predict the future, and Aang, like, yo, hey, Aang curved that girl hard, bro.
No, that wasn't. It wasn't the same episode.
No, it
No, it's not.
was.
That's not
It's the
book
same
one.
one.
Is it book
No,
one?
it is book one. It
It's
is book
book
one.
one. You're correct. It is book one, but those are different episodes. That episode, with the Oracle, e-
Oh,
ends
with the
up with a
Oracle. Oh, yeah, that's a
uh,
different one. Yeah, yeah,
ends up with a volcano erupting, and then
yeah.
Sokka tells her like, "Yo, I forget how powerful a bender Aang is," and then that's when she realizes Aang is a powerful bender. Oh
No,
my!
Qatar is a person who does like she has big spoiler energy. Like you could never watch a movie like she must never watch a movie before you
Yes,
because she will tell you everything.
she was no because she was
She's
going.
one of those people. She's one of those people that walk out of the theater. Yo, I can't believe he died. I'm walking into the theater.
Right.
You know?
Thanos snapped everyone in half, guys. It was crazy.
Oh,
Um. Yeah, I just wanted to say fun fact. The creators actually had intended Zuko to be Aang's firebending master from the beginning. I think
that
that's
makes sense.
why even from like episode one, this guy was already a master. It's like they knew from the beginning. It's just that they didn't make him join Team Avatar from the jump, but they
No,
knew.
No,
You don't know what's gonna happen.
the reason why I agree that they knew, one, is because if you pay attention, Aang's primary masters are all kids.
Mm, tough.
There was no, apart from Paku, there's no constant adult teacher
No,
who
but
taught.
like Paku got him started, but Katara's the
Yeah,
one who
who
took him
finished.
to mastery.
Yeah.
Who's
So
who's Paco again?
they're all kids.
Pakun is the old dude who was
Oh,
in love with Katara's grandmama.
oh yeah.
Okay, we'll get to book three because I had some issues with
I mean,
that.
in retrospect, I remember when we were talking about Korra, I will agree to the fact that in terms of character development of where characters start and where they end, this show does do it way, way better.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I
If they
think
had
the
more time,
Korra's crime
they
is
had more
time
time with
time
this.
management. Korra's
Mhm,
crime is time management. I think like
mhm.
they just didn't manage their time well
Yeah.
Facts.
because they were spending time on things instead of developing the characters. Like
And
that's why
and
that whole episode of the love triangle was such a waste to me because I was like you could have just used this to focus on Korra and focus on what she's doing in this whole situation with Amon. So I think like Korra, like the reason it frustrated me is because it had great potential with Korra and Asami specifically, and I'll say Bolin. Mako, I never felt any potential. I'm sorry, Mako. I'm sorry. I felt no potential with that character whatsoever. But like Bolin, Asami, and Korra, they had great potential to do something. I mean, Korra, even in season one, as much as I dislike it, she has a nice moment where you see her emotional maturity, which is like, why does this thing just disappear? Where she tells Mako, Asami's gonna need you after they found out her father was evil or whatever. So she put herself aside and said, okay, I'm going to put this person above me because I need to be the rock in this situation
Mm.
or whatever. As an avatar,
Even
I
though
need to
she's way
balance this
older
out.
than me, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
mm,
Yeah.
mm.
But I'm saying that's what made it so cool as a moment if you look at it in isolation, that Korra removed herself from that situation to say that this person needs emotional balance more than I do, type of thing.
That was
So I'm saying,
definitely an avatar moment, you could say.
yeah, so I'm saying Korra's problem, the show, was in time management. Here, they had the time and they used it wisely because it's also you can have a lot of time and not use it wisely at all. I'm looking at you, Ahsoka. So basically, time and time management
You
was the biggest issue that Korra had for me personally.
Agreed.
so back to the actual story that we care
Yeah.
about. We're gonna put a counter to the how many times Korra is mentioned in this episode. Comment below.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing we
Anyway,
started with Korra then.
yeah.
Um, so we get to okay, right? Wait, we all explain what is my favorite episode.
I mean, you mentioned a few already.
Well, I can't be cliche and just say the Siege of the South because they are, but still. Huh.
It's not. It's say the Siege of the South. It was great.
But
Like
it's so
everybody got
obvious.
like shout out to
But
Sokka and his Mac game because he literally got that princess in like one or
Hey,
two. Hey, Sokka was a Mac.
the live
Sokka
action
had
version
game.
of
was.
the live action version of that character. My God, that lady was.
Sokka is the Riz god before Riz was a thing.
Wow.
He walked in there and he said, "Girls, look. I mean, how do you turn? You came in as a misogynist, and
Mm.
you managed to get the most feminist group of warriors, and one that leader to say, hmm, I could
Mm.
tap that."
Yeah, he did it with Suki and the princess
And
of the South,
like, I'm
who
sort
was
of
promised to somebody else, by the
like
The
way.
whole
who,
moon
Had
spirit.
her whole conflicted, changed her
Mm.
whole life.
like what
In
is
a
wrong with my
day.
life?
In a day, my G,
Uh,
24
It's
hours,
so
Baba.
beautiful. What
Mm.
can I do? My life is over. Oh,
Sokka got game for days, dog.
he got game. He, whew. Anyway,
Like,
let's get back.
Suki's lucky she locked that down because he would have been drillering in the streets.
You know, that's why I'm likening him a bit to Cyclops. I remember I read an article somewhere that says that. Have you noticed that some Cyclops always has a strong relationship with telepaths?
Mm.
So, what's this guy?
Soccer.
Sokka has a relationship with powerful women. He has a thing for powerful women.
Yeah, but
It's
unlike
more like
Cyclops,
powerful.
sorry, say your thing, I'll say my thing.
I want to say
Julie,
more
do
like
the thing.
powerful women. More like powerful women is a thing for him.
Yeah, basically.
Like,
And I'm saying, unlike Cyclops, Soccer at least is loyal.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
but
Damn.
how could you say something so controversial yet so true at the same time?
Yeah, that's the
Well,
only
I don't know. Everybody in
rap I have
X-Men is
about my
having.
favorite character.
Everybody in X-Men is making out with everybody. Like I saw a picture one day where Storm was making out with Cyclops. I was like, ew, what? What's happening?
Ew!
Yeah, that's you.
And yes,
So
Wolverine's
I don't
technically
know.
bi, but let's forget.
Yeah. Anyway,
They're
I
like
don't know.
sisters.
Everybody's kissing everybody, so I don't know.
X-Men
Yeah,
is one
that's
big.
cool. I'm shocked there were no like pregnancy scares and you know what I mean. Like,
So what you're telling me is X-Men is one big orgy. Noted.
Hey,
That's
well,
weird.
I mean, recently now on the island of Genosha, they literally had like literally it was an episode from Zion or something where there was sweat and the people were saying that the machines are coming. So basically, I don't know.
Anyway, so okay, I think one of my favorite moments I would give would be. It's hard to pin down a moment. My God, the same episode where Iroh was rescued by Zuko with the fire.
didn't he
Oh,
rescue
that
himself?
yeah. No. He left crumbs. So basically, what happens is he gets captured by the Earth soldiers or something,
My
and then
God, it's the
basically he
same.
leaves like clues.
Oh,
And like you get to see Zuko's conflict as a character because
he
he
didn't care.
decides to save he had the chance to go and capture Aang, but he decided to go save his uncle.
Yeah.
And that's when they started sowing the seeds that yeah, this guy you know that he's the bad guy, quote unquote, because he is like the bad guy of this particular season, or he's like one of the main antagonists outside of General Zhao. So but you get to see that he really does love his uncle, like because he basically notices something is wrong from jump. He notices that things are out of array. He sees his uncle's slipper. He's like, "Gotta go. Let me go save my uncle."
Yeah.
And these are one of the very few moments where random people actually recognize and acknowledge this man as a powerful person. Like, yo, this is the dragon of the whatever. Like, yo, we
Dragon
need
of
to
the
catch him.
West.
The dragon
No,
of the
Pella, he even shows them because he basically escapes. Like I feel like Iroh was just being lazy. If Iroh wanted to ditch those guys, it would have been
No,
over.
like it was not even a contest. That's why I think he deliberately did that and left so that he can tell Zuko.
And at the same time, we
That is
get
a fire breather, dog.
and we also see hints of just how spiritually inclined he is. He's the only one who saw uh, the dragon spirit with
Oh,
Aang fly past
Roku's dragon. Yeah,
Loki's
Roku
dragon.
dragon.
It was the same episode where Aang is busy meditating with Heibai to try and calm him
Mm.
down. It's that same episode. I'm just commenting on just how many things, how many plots, and how
A
many
lot.
stories happened in just
Isn't that wait?
one
Isn't that
book.
isn't
Hunger.
that also
Hunger.
like
Upon
soccer
hunger.
soccer disappears?
Yeah, Sokka
Like
disappears. Yes.
yeah. No, like, and I also love the handling of spirits. Like
Yeah.
the spirits were the way they were handled because, like, when people put it in context, like this was an Earth Nation colony or something or the other, and their people were missing. But like Heibai was lashing out because of the actions of the Fire Nation.
Mm.
So it was just
Yeah.
another like,
No,
yeah.
please go ahead. I'll ask
Oh,
it when you're done.
okay. Like it was just another thing where it was just like, oh yeah, basically the Fire Nation, they're not just taking over like society. They're literally throwing the spiritual world in disarray with their actions.
Like balance is not just a physical world. responsibility from the avatar. Like he has to even balance the spiritual world as well. That's a huge load on one person. But anyway, sorry, Peter.
Are you saying, Phil?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. This is specifically for book one, but do you guys have an MVP?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's hard. Because I'm like one of the persons where Aang is my favorite character of this show. I know for a lot of people, it's that whole thing of, yeah, he's the main character, so he's not my favorite character. But but there's so many strong standouts. I don't know if I could
Ah.
pick one. Because Katara was amazing in this as well.
Even Iroh, if you
Sokka,
were to look at it from an objective point, knowing what you know,
I think for me in book one, it's still Zuko. I, I know he
I
gets way better in other arcs, but just for this arc, it's still Zuko for me.
mm,
Just a
he's
personal
up
thing.
there.
But
He's up there, but I really, really dug Aang. I
yeah,
really.
for me, Zuko is an MVP, just not for this season. I think I would agree with BuckMeister. I think Aang is the MVP because
Also, like when we get. Yeah.
he balances comedy and serious moments. Like it really evens out. Like what we were just talking now about him with the spirits and him dealing with certain matters that are way too heavy for one person to to resolve. He handles them very well. So
I think Zuko. Not to diminish your point, because I think Aang is amazing, but my personal experience with Zuko has been like he's his storyline is obviously like super interesting. Not that Aang's isn't, because it probably is more interesting.
mm,
But I think Zuko's like because it's
con-
not an overt character development, but it's developing. I do think he's a lot of the driving force of events in the story. I do like his little fire world politics game kind of world. It's more my taste. That's
mm,
probably why I like it more. It's kind of like that whole geopolitical espionage stuff that's going on, which is my taste. And I also think he's freaking hilarious. Like he's not intentionally hilarious, more like Aang. But the fact that he's trying to be super serious, but he just keeps failing all the time. Like he's like the people that he work for him don't take him seriously.
He's like
Iroh doesn't take him seriously,
and he
and
calls
he's
he calls
trying so hard.
he calls Aang a
Hilarious.
kid, and he's still a kid. Like, what is?
Yeah.
He's just a kid, dude. You're a kid.
Yeah.
Like I think about
Yeah.
in episode, I don't know if it's episode 1 or 2 where they get hit by the iceberg, and then he's like, "Yo, get us out of here!" And then he like looks at them, and they all like frozen, like, "Oh, well, like when you have time, when you're ready." And
yeah,
then,
no,
like it's stuff like that. That's hilarious to me.
the thing about Zuko at this age is like he's at that age where every teenager wants to be taken seriously
Yeah.
and tries to be cool, but it always falls flat because you're still a kid. It's like, look, look, mom, I'm wearing these clothes now. I'm a grown up, and like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
boss
the
honey.
people that take him seriously are the people he doesn't care for. Like he doesn't really want acknowledgement from or validation from the people that actually take him serious. Because his
True.
uncle took him seriously every time, but he didn't want.
Like,
That's the last person that he wanted to be.
I'm not
I
trying
mean,
to say
like,
this is peak
yeah.
Zuko, because Zuko's storyline gets way better than in this. But I still thought for me this was for me the best.
Yeah.
Okay, now I
No, I'm saying
remember.
like also there was just a shout out to another Zuko moment. Like when Iroh tells the whole crew the backstory because the crew is like frustrated with Zuko, and then Zuko actually steps up to be a captain and save one of his men, and he's like, "No, we're not pursuing the Avatar." That was like a nice piece of development for that character as well.
Yeah.
At the
So
same
Like they
time,
do they do a lot. Like it's not like Vegeta where you hate Vegeta hardcore and then he turns you around or whatever. They do a lot to make you sympathetic for Zuko so that when he's chasing Aang, you don't hate him, but you
you still
want
might
Aang
feel
to
bad
get
too.
don't
away.
say anything, Dawala. Don't say anything. Tell us your favorite. Please tell us who the
Yeah,
MVP is.
who's the
Please don't
MVP?
say anything about Vegeta. Tell us
Yeah,
who the
who's the
MVP
MVP?
is.
When I leave Vegeta, yeah.
Okay, I'll be nice. It's a new year. It's a new year, new me. So I'm not gonna say anything about much.
Lies. Okay. Okay.
If you ever say anything about Vegeta, I'm just gonna say Julie do the thing because I know it irks you.
Is that okay? I'm telling my inner puppy. Are you threatening me, Mr. Mr. Extraordinary?
Not even. It's just.
Julie! Do the thing.
It's treason then.
No, you know what we can even say? Vegeta, do the thing.
Okay, no, let's get back to the actual story. What I wanted to highlight about that episode. Fun fact is the first time you see lightning redirection because Iroh literally catches a lightning bolt from heaven and
Oh,
deflects it
yeah.
straight out of the ship.
Oh yeah.
That was so
But he was
badass.
by himself. Nezuko didn't witness that.
Iroh
No,
himself was shook and
know.
was like, it actually worked.
Yeah, because like Iroh looked like Iroh was talking like he trained that thing. Like when he does, I think that's also booked to. But like when he talks like he trained that thing, but like he does treat it like you should not be trying to do this.
Yes.
Mm.
Like
And
this
he
is not something that you should just be whipping out in jail. Like this is final resort because you mess up and it's over.
Yeah, this is basically my guy saying, 8 gates. Never use them, but 8 gates. Okay.
Yeah.
Never use them,
Yeah.
but
but
8 gates.
gates.
No, 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 no. My guy looked at Rock Lee and he was like, if you need to.
Just in
Yeah.
case.
Tell anyone.
Because technically, like Kakashi was like, bro, you know how many rules you have broken by teaching this kid?
Well, he can't weave any jutsus anymore. So what the hell is he supposed to do?
Yeah. Anyway, that's
So
Naruto. We'll get to Naruto.
we'll get
But
to
anyway,
Naruto. Okay, so I just wanted to highlight those fun facts. Aang then risks his life to go save the stupid farmer, fisherman in that episode. Nice. Yeah, no, but I have to give it to the Siege of the North. Those two episodes are my favorite because one, we get to see the culmination of all the character development hit home for season one.
Yeah.
We see Aang finally steps up and being the avatar. And one of the key lines he says at the beginning of the fight is, I let my people down. I'm not going to let this happen to you guys. And he holds true to that. Day one, he fights the whole day. He's like, I must have sunk a dozen ships, but there's so many. And I'm just a kid. I don't know what to do.
That's a Magneto moment, by the way. But yeah, you're right.
no, I think the other thing is you get to see the intelligence of Sokka because he's literally calling out the plan of the South and he's like, you guys are going to get destroyed.
Yeah, no.
Like, first off, your armor is nonsense.
Outdated.
They've already changed the designs. They've updated it.
96
and then
years
also
old.
he finds out that the girl that they find out that the guy the princess is supposed to marry is a total tool. Because the guy doesn't listen to anybody.
He's married for
and
political
he literally
reasons.
just gets bumped. He gets bumped out the episode. They kick him off the ship. He does nothing.
The way Zhao looks at him, Ira looks at him and is like, oh, you sweet thing. And I like how Zhao is arrogant, yes, but he's humble enough to request the help of another powerful general to help with these invasions. Like, okay, I'm gonna need the Dragon of the West. Yeah, sure. Some can argue it was a way of trying to keep an eye on Zuko, but then he drops a bomb on him. So it really didn't matter. It's for me. I think the aim was that he really wanted Iroh on his camp.
No, he wanted Iroh, but he wanted to remove Zuko because the thing is, he's also competing for the favor of the Fire Lord.
Yeah.
So like that's why Zuko could instantly notice that something was wrong with his ship. Like that's another thing. You get to see how sharp Zuko is as a character as well.
Yeah, nobody notices. If you play that scene frame by frame, you see actually how Zuko weaves the fire barrier around himself as the thing explodes, and that's how he survives. If the things that people don't notice is like, wow.
I think Zhao, in as much as he was who he was not stupid enough to ignore the brilliance of Iroh. Like he knew how brilliant Iroh was, and
except he does because remember when we get to the fish, he completely ignores Iroh because he's just like because everybody's just like this isn't Water Nation, Fire Nation stuff anymore.
This is
the moon.
Yeah,
the freaking moon.
But that's his weakness as a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm saying like I love how Iroh says, "Whatever you do to that fish, I will unleash upon you tenfold." I was like, "Yo,
And you just
Iroh!"
see, like, that's when you see Iroh. It's like, oh, okay, the Master Jedi is back.
And you get to see the difference between Iroh and the other firebenders because he solos all four of them,
And
and you
those
make
are
Zhao run.
and
Like Zhao runs.
those are elite guards. If you pay attention to the uniform,
Mm.
they're not just they're right there next to like the fire almost at the same rank as the fire lords bodyguards. If you see that they're wearing that whole hollowed mask, that whole skull mask thing and everything, it shows that they're way up there. They're supposed to be elite firebenders. And you're like, what?
But also, Tebello, you didn't really tell us who your MVP is. You told
Oh,
us your
my
favorite
MVP.
episodes, but not your MVP.
Neither did you, brother.
Oh,
So he's
me? I didn't. I said it's Aang, but I would say General Iroh is a close second for me.
huh,
Then Kitara.
this is so hard. It's season one. Okay, it has to be Aang. Purely because of that final season. It's Aang, and surprise, surprise. Yeah, and then yeah, the close second would be It has to be Iroh.
Yeah.
Only because of how the episodes, how the season begins and ends, and how it neatly wraps itself up. Because we have the Siege of the North, we have Zhao. We find out Aang has to go into the spiritual realm to go find out what everybody else already knows. And that meeting with Ko, tell me, if there anyone who was watching that conversation with Ko, the face dealer, that all of you went desperately trying not to show your own emotions in your face yourselves, as if your face was going to get stolen.
No, I remember as a kid, I freaked out when I saw the monkey. Like when Aang is like walking towards Ko, the face deal, and then the monkey turns around. I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, so like, I must be going now. Thank you.
It must have taken them a really long time for them to write this material. There's a
It must.
lot of.
Yeah, no, they thought about it from like every angle. Because like the other thing is they did a great job at showing Ko's benevolence.
Yes.
Ko gave Aang the information that he needed,
Yeah.
but the whole time Ko was trying to take his face. Like Ko plays fair. He wasn't cheating.
No,
He wasn't like trying to do something to Aang to make Aang have an expression. But
Right.
the whole time Aang had an expression, Ko was looking for it.
like the spirit names Zatui and Lai, push and pull. That has been the nature of the relationship since the beginning. Please, an entire civilization could be wiped out. I need their help. Oh, you think you need their help, do you? It's quite the opposite, actually. What do you mean? Voo! Somebody's trying to kill them. And Aang is like, all calm and everything.
No, Roku for like I know people say Roku was a useless avatar.
No.
I mean, he didn't have a lot of conflicts.
Oh,
He didn't have a lot of.
I like it.
In
It
his
is-
life, maybe, but in his death, he is the MVP. Roku is my MVP. There you go. In season one.
Yeah.
Of this art.
Of this art.
Yes, there you go.
Well, I'm just saying
No,
because
because just how scary he is. Look at how whenever he appeared, shit went down. Like the fire temple when when he opened and they saw him. What did the fire sages do?
Panicked.
They ran. He melted off the chains holding down Kitara and Zuko and Sokka and them without burning them. How do you do that?
Anyway, what I'm saying is like Roku didn't have a lot of conflicts in his life. Like I wouldn't want to see a book about Roku. I know there's people who are like, we should get books about other avatars. But I think I'm
Kyoshi.
interested in Kyoshi. I'm interested in Yang Chen. I do not want to see Kuruk
The
at all.
tragedy. The
No.
tragedy.
No.
You all
If Korra depressed me, I'd have a drinking problem after Kuruk. Yeah, I'd like to see them maybe and like that type of stuff. But like, yeah, I like Roku. Literally, in terms of performing his duty as a past life, Roku was definitely the MVP. He definitely told Aang where he needed to go. He told him what the traps are. Gave
And
him all the advice that he needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's why in Korra, I would have loved to see Aang like fulfill that role because he would have been like more inclined to be like a Roku type of thing.
Definitely missed
So
opportunity. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, but like, yeah, Roku really stepped up.
okay, so
I think the only
then
thing I would have wanted to see would be a conversation like an in-depth, if this was like anime level, seinen level writing, an in-depth conversation between Iroh and Roku. That for me would have been extremely interesting for me. For me.
more or less.
Like over a cup of tea, that would have been interesting.
Anyway,
Mm.
anyway, so we get to the scene where Zhao, my favorite scene of the entire season. Zhao has killed the moon spirit,
Mm.
and everybody is in despair, it's like it's over. And then Aang just says, "No, it is not over." And the ocean spirit was like, "Bitch, I need a hookup. I can't walk on land. You can." And then
It,
then
it
then
was
Aang
so
was like,
dope.
"I bet you." This whole moment right here, this
Yeah.
moment here is my favorite
Now,
moment.
now the
For
other
me,
thing is like
that's when for
I
me that's
remember
when it
Korra
just.
fans. Like there's a
But
lot of
okay,
like again, not to mention Korra again. I really I don't want to be dumping on Korra like this or whatever, but okay. I'm just saying that like a lot of Korra fans would come at Aang fans. Like I remember I got into a bit of an argument about this because they were like, "Oh, so you have an issue with the kaiju fight at the end of Korra season 2, but you don't mind this kaiju fight with Aang when Aang does it. So it's always okay when Aang does it, but it's different when Korra does it." It was like, no, first off and foremost, they were punishing the Fire Nation for killing the spirits of the sea. Like this was the sea punishing the Fire Nation. It wasn't just two giant monsters battling for the sake of battle type of thing. Like the reason why this worked is because Aang was supposed to be he's the bridge. So this is the spirit wanting revenge on the Fire Nation, which he caught a lot of bodies. That whole thing of Aang don't kill people,
God,
no,
he caught a lot
Rex,
waxed a lot.
of. There's a lot of Fire Nation dudes that are not with us after this siege, and
let's
R.I.P.
no, no, no. It's the way he does it. It's the way. First, first he goes, he walks up, and I like just how you see the disconnect to what happened to the Fire Nation's loss of spirituality, as opposed to the Water Nation still holding on to what spirituality they have left. Because the moment they saw the ocean spirit, all the waterbenders went down. They didn't even want to look at what's happening. They just kept their heads covered, like, bitch, we are not a part of this. And then the Fire Nation is like, let's go. And I was thinking, you have a spear. You can't even firebend. What do you think you're gonna do to this gigantic?
yeah, Pella. Hey, some of those guys are loyal to the Fire Nation. Like they have no bending.
I
They're
would
just
have gone
out there.
down as
They
well. I was
want
like,
they want that boner. They want that annual bonus, dog.
wow. And another fun fact they put through that many of the chat groups have mentioned over and over again is that you can see that the ocean spirit works towards the push factor of the water. He pushes waves out, where the ocean was the pull factor of the relationship. That's why you see all the moves that they're making. It's water just like push. So they're all offensive moves. There's no pulling of water or anything like that. If you pay attention to all the moves the kaiju is making with this
Yeah, but
water.
what would you guys have done if you were there to witness this moment?
If it was from the Fire Nation,
Not even like whether you're from the Water Tribe or the Fire
I'm
Nation
doing
does.
whatever the natives are doing. Whatever they're doing, I'm doing.
down! Quick! Faster, in a hurry! I don't even waste time!
Mm-mm.
You bow.
What are you doing?
I'm not dying for Ozai. Are you insane?
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
like,
true.
the guys at the water temple like, get up! What are you doing? Stop! Leave me alone. I'm converted.
Hey, I just got recruited today. Like,
It's
Hey,
just
I just got drafted against my will. They literally held my family hostage, my feet. Come, it's fine.
I would have
I'd be
properly
worse.
soiled my pants, dog. Like,
I'd do even worse. I'd be busy taking off my clothes. Shit. By the time it gets to me, completely. If I have to be naked, I'd be fine.
I mean, I guess I'd be if I was in the Fire Nation, I'd be like, yo, where the fuck is the fire lord? Like, why are we trying to solve this problem? Where is that nigga? What is he doing?
Fire.
We're
Who
fighting
are you?
giant fish, bro.
Who are you praying to? Like
Solve your problem.
who are you like what? Fire Lord Azulon, be with us. Oh,
Yeah.
Susan, be with us. Bring your commentary for us once again.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, there were people there that couldn't even bend. Like
Yeah.
one guy was throwing a spear at this kaiju, and I'm like, dog, Ozai don't care about you like
what do
that.
you
If
think
that's
you're gonna do
me,
here?
I'm out.
Why did he slice? Why Kelsey is like they throw catapults at it. He just slices the tops off, and then he realizes, oh wait, you know what? I'm taking too long. Giant tsunami, and there goes the entire fleet. First, oh yeah, no, he finger flicks 4 ships away, like bah, and then giant tsunami. How many people died?
Zhao took so many L's on this campaign because he also even lost to Zuko afterwards when he was running away because Zuko found him. He's like, dog, you tried to assassinate me. Now it's for keeps. Now we're not playing games. No Agni, no Kai, just you die.
And
That's
then,
it.
and then of course, we funny piece of foreshadowing. We learned that Yue has been blessed by the moon spirit.
I felt so. I felt so bad for. I felt so bad for soccer. Yo, dog, cock blocked by the universe.
It's like it's either use, man.
It's not meant to be, Chief.
I was like,
Dog, he got a kiss on her passing.
yes, as a ghost, a spirit kiss.
Didn't even get to clap no cheeks, none, dog.
Right?
She died a
Hey, what does
virgin.
he do every night, like with Suki? Does he look at the moon and he's like, yeah, I tapped that.
He didn't.
Like, yeah,
He
that was
didn't.
me, yo.
I
That
could
was
have.
me, girl.
Could have been me.
That
I
was
could-
me. Yeah.
I could have.
Yeah.
But
Hey, you dating a moon lover, girl. You better
You know-
respect.
Like,
The
he
moon-
even told
but
Suki that
let's
story,
not-
dog. That's how crazy it was. Like, he even told
I mean,
Suki
at that point, I think they weren't together. Like, I think at that point, soccer was kind of.
but he couldn't kiss Suki in front of the moon. That's how hard it was. If you pay attention to that scene,
Yeah.
it was like,
I mean, he gets over it eventually because Suki tells him, "Dog, I'm a Kyoshi warrior. Calm your titties, okay? Relax."
no, it's at the same time they're doing it inside a tent. It's not like the moon spirit is like
That
soccer.
would be so petty of Yue. I would be so mad if Yue as the moon spirit was just like if she was just
It's
like
like-
tossing waves at me. I'm like, but you
But,
chose.
But at the same,
how do I reach you? I can't reach you. You're a moon. You don't have organs. You don't have.
but at the same time, she's technically married now because she's married to the ocean, so she
Yeah,
can't.
but like you don't have parts. How will this work? I can't buy you flowers. Like
Yeah.
Moonflowers.
Plus, Suki is a G. I love Suki.
yeah, me too, man.
Like anybody who says she's not part of Team Avatar, I can't respect you. I'm sorry.
No,
For me, Suki and May. Though.
May is,
Then
actually, no. Actually, no. I must put respect on me. Let me put respect on me.
Anyone who was there for the final fight at the end of season 3 is Team Avatar. Anyone.
Yeah. Because May eventually joins them. So.
Oh, then obviously Suki. Okay, Yue. Is it Yue? Yeah, for the moon. Yes, Yue.
Yeah.
Sacrifices her life to restore the universe, and her body is gone. I don't know how that worked. She just like put her hand on her face and then spiritual subtraction.
How did
self-sucking people work?
How did Aang come out of the water with a kaiju? He just went zoop and then he's out.
Spiritual anger.
Avatar logic, bro.
It was spiritual anger. It was. Yeah, he was slaying
These spirits don't care for human life. That whole thing of The Avatar, that whole thing of the airbenders, all life is sacred. The spirit is like to
Like,
whom?
to all life is sacred.
Also, if
Not,
her
but
corpse, if her corpse was there, they would have worshipped it or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it would have been
rather
weird.
just take the body as well.
yeah, her body vanishes. The fish comes back to life. That's what splashing in the water, and then she kisses him, and then the moon comes back, and then the ocean spirit is like, oh, okay, you okay? You okay? Okay, okay. I'm going back now. Okay, thanks, Avatar. Stay right there. Okay, where's the other guy? Where is he? There he is. You tried to kill my wife. And
It took him,
then,
no?
then Zhao's like, I like where Zuko's like, take my hand. And Zhao's like, "Mm-mm." I,
Yeah.
But you know,
To the
the other
end.
thing that I never understood,
it's
because
like that. You know the TikTok like, help me, gladly, but first admit you're wrong. Mm-mm.
I would rather. But then you see him in the Legend of Korra, you're like, this was unnecessary. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to retcon Aang basically killing this guy, or the water spirit killing him. Because he was in that land of the, what's this?
No, it makes sense. Not only did he kill him, he put him in eternal torment.
But
Wait, where do you
we,
see
we
Zhao?
never got that impression. You remember when Tenzin was looking for his brother and sister with Bumi and Khan?
In the
Oh,
fog.
right. In the fog. And then he
Yeah.
talks to, I guess, either his own spirit or Aang's spirit. But I
Yeah,
don't think that was Aang.
they showed General Zhao there saying, I
Yeah.
will be, what did he say? I'll be Admiral, or whatever it was.
Oh,
I must
Tenzin
capture the
sees him.
Avatar.
Mm.
Tenzin sees him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he looks at Tenzin and thinks,
Oh, that was so random to me. I didn't understand what was happening because I was like, aren't we dealing with Tenzin? Who's this random fire guy? I didn't put together that that was Zhao.
there's Zhao.
It
Hey.
was for me. It makes perfect sense. Is that the spirits when if that's so pissed off, they know because they see life and death as part of one. It's a
Mm.
cycle. Life goes
Oh,
into death into real life. So killing you. Let me just finish. So
okay.
killing you doesn't just necessarily suffice as punishment because it's just part of the cycle.
It
Death is a
makes it
natural part of life. So to punish him, I'm not only gonna kill you, but I'm gonna put you in a place where you will suffer for as long as I want you to.
it made sense that he was there. Like you were saying, that yes, that's also what I was thinking, but it was never implied here. That's what I'm saying. It was never implied that
Again, Korra didn't spend time on it. They were overly ambitious. They were
Now,
doing
now,
too many things.
now, I immediately thought he's dead, and
Yeah.
not only
Mm.
he's
Yeah,
all
but
special kinds of dead.
to your point though, it's the same with Ko the Face Stealer, and if we look at Heibai and what Heibai was doing, like people were just wandering the spirit realms in turmoil and all of that stuff for like, and also with Ko like he doesn't kill you technically, he just lets your corpse just run wild without a face type of thing. So yeah, it does make sense that Zhao would end up there.
Yeah. I guess.
So where was I? Oh, okay, then we get to the closing parts of the Avatar, where they all look over the horizon and they've won and everything, and you see we see Zuko and Iroh on a life raft or something like that. It's like I'm surprised, Zuko, that you're not even at this moment you're not trying to go after the Avatar and everything like that. And then he says the line, "Uncle, I'm tired." And then he says, "You then rest, Zuko." A man needs his rest, and that's the first line he tells Zuko at the very beginning of the season. He's
Mm.
like, you need to rest. A man needs his rest. And he's like, I
Mm.
refuse. I need to do this and this and this. And then at the end, he finally acknowledges that you know what? He's been carrying the world and he's been carrying this burden on his shoulders for so long. And he's just tired,
Yeah.
which is a very beautiful way of just seeing
No,
the growth of Zuko in
it's chef's
himself.
kiss. Chef's kiss, man.
Beautiful, beautiful season,
I
honestly.
guess you could say it's the same treatment that Kishimoto had for Sasuke and Naruto, because he would say whatever he's doing for Naruto, he has to do for Sasuke. You know what I mean? So it's like even here with Aang, if something is happening with Aang, something has to happen with Zuko, you know, to balance.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Anyway, those are my thoughts. What are your final thoughts about the book one? Anyway. Okay, let's go to final thoughts.
Yeah, I do want to wait for Pillar to come back because I do want to get his like take on. But like, yeah, for me, my final thoughts was, yeah, man, like this was it was such a great show. Like, yeah, we've seen it before, but never in this configuration. The world building is top tier, and the way they world build is hilarious because basically it's through Aang's goofy nature that we get to learn and explore the world because he basically takes like that's why Mr. Extrodin, that whole thing of like the Korra thing, it really just irritated me because like it kind of dulled the wonder a little bit when it came to Aang's character and the exploration and how they did the world building because he took these two people who was a waterbender and a non-bender on an entire journey that he went through as an air nomad. So it just felt like that he wouldn't extend that same thing to his children. It just felt off for me.
Yeah, I get you.
That's just me. I know there's gonna be people. It makes it deeper as a character. All right, that's your opinion. Whatever.
Ding into the Korra counter.
Anyway, but like yeah, I just think that it's fantastic. Like I study this for world building. Like book one in particular, like when I'm doing world building for myself because I am working on another series, I'm studying this. And like yeah, from the choreography and also just the character interactions and the dialogue and everything, not a character is wasted here. Even the side characters are utilized really well. Like book one was just a phenomenal start, man. It was such a great foundation that they didn't need to spend time doing that in the other books. And that's the great thing about storytelling is that if you've established your world, then you can just go straight into your characters.
And
No, please go ahead.
and that to add to that, people, you know how we compared this to Star Wars. The beauty of how the world building here is both through Star Wars. You got to see the world through Luke's eyes, a whole new world outside of the desert. Here we see we see this new world, which Aang kind of knows, but it's 100 years after the fact. Everything's changed, so he's learning how this world has changed with us, and that's how we get to invited into this world, which is a brilliant way of trying to convey a story. The point of view character, even though he is this powerful character, he's also a child. He doesn't know this world, and we also don't know this world with him, which is something we get to, which is something we get to enjoy, and something I'm also going to throw a coin into the Korra bin now, which is something we kind of lost in Korra. We don't get to see this new world. There's no point of view character that you can relate to as much as you had with this kid, if you get what I'm trying to say.
I mean, relatability is like subjective. I just think there was no character to take you through the world, and I think Aang like took us through the world, which is a very unique experience. Also, shout out to Kuzan. I love that mention of Kuzan because, like, from jump, like that's the brilliant writing of this series. From jump, they tell you that the Fire Nation is not a monolith because Aang had friends in the Fire Nation as well, and he knew a lot of the Fire Nation traditions and all of that stuff just through that one line with Kuzan. And I love the slang, but we'll get into the slang for book 3 because yeah, that slang was really dope. But anyway, yeah, definitely. I just think yeah, there's relatability in Korra. I'll be objective about that. I'm sure there's people who feel that way. But I just think there was nobody to take us through, like even just Republic City. Like we don't really have an idea of how Republic City functions because we never got to spend time in it. But again, that's just time management and all of that stuff. But anyway.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna go on a limb and just say, when it comes to the level of world building, I'll quote it just under the Lord of the Rings, like a close second. That's the amount of
Pretty high.
There's just two things that I just want to say. The first one being that I think in terms of writing, what made this very strong and unique is usually when we watch shonen, the POV character is like everything is explained to the POV, the power systems, this and that, and then, you know what I mean? with this one, Aang already knew all that stuff. It's just that he was in a different time. But we didn't have to be introduced to like anything like, yeah, this is what it means, and like there was no one with a board explaining what Nen is.
Aranka Daijaka.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I think that in itself was very powerful, and we understood that despite not knowing a lot of things about this universe. Like there was a lot of show don't tell, and when you tell it, but don't oversell this thing.
Yeah.
People are not dumb. That's the first thing. The second thing is the fact that they still made this a kids show. Somehow they still managed to make this a kids show is truly remarkable, because all the plots, all the beats that we were explaining so far, there's nothing childish about this. Like talking about Agnikais and moon spirits and you know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing absolute. It's only Aang's comedy that sells it, but apart from that, it's
Well, Aang and Sokka, like
Yeah, I
Aang
was
and
about to
Yeah.
say.
Sokka,
Yeah.
they
and Sokka. Sorry, I
they
forgot
so
Sokka.
and
And a bit
Katara,
of
like Katara
Zuko.
also has like
And a bit of
Katara also
Zuko.
has and a bit of
Yeah,
Zuko. Like,
and Iroh
like
a bit.
yeah.
But this
And like
could have
yeah.
easily been like seinen territory. You know what I'm saying? Like easily been seinen territory. So the writing is really, 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 really good. And like how you guys were saying, every character has been treated with a lot of respect, and they were not one-dimensional. You know, yes, we know that Sokka is the funny guy, but we know that he's a strategist and he's a tactician. You
And
know,
an inventor. Let's not forget that. He
yeah,
invents stuff.
100%.
He
You know,
figured out how to. You know how much how much out of the box thinking you have to figure out about how to develop a flying machine.
right?
The hot air balloons. The hot air
And
balloons
someone
are
that grew up in a like in the what, North Pole or South Pole,
in the literally North South Pole.
Never
but he
left the
was able
ground
to
once,
think
but he
like
figured
that.
it out.
And
Crazy.
also figured out because there's natural gas that fumes up from the temple.
No,
And
the
how
other thing about Sokka that was amazing is that like you also get to see the burden that he carries. Because he always felt like he was short of his father in a sense. Like because he didn't get to go, he has to make up for it. But his role is way more important than any of the soldiers in the Water Tribe.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
And he
that's-
also realizes that when he decides to go back to Aang after he was mad at Aang for hiding the letter, he realizes that no, my place is with the Avatar because this is important.
yes, true.
Yeah. Sorry. To cut you off. Mr.
I just wanted to tell you a fun fact about propane gas is that it doesn't have an odor, just like they show that in the Avatar scene. So they do, in our gas containers, they do add sulfur to make it smell. So that's how we know where there's a gas leak, because back in the good old days, it didn't have an odor. Your room would fill up with gas and you'd suddenly die. So.
Ish. Yeah.
So that idea about adding rotten eggs is an homage to the things that we did in this world to make things like propane gas a little more safer for us
Hey,
to
they
use.
really thought about this. Yeah.
So there's a lot of thought, and that's how you know that somebody loves the story they've written. Is the amount of thought they put in every little minor detail. I've spoken to so many writers who's shown us their love letters about the story, the original storyline, and then they show us the law they made
Yes.
behind it, and you just see whopper of pages and books and everything. You realize, wow.
For me, that's the thing that I'm slightly disappointed about concerning this entire franchise is initially how they came with this concept. They drew adult Aang. Like all of the characters were actually adults. There was like adult Zuko, adult Aang, adult Sokka, adult Toph, and adult Katara. But we never really got to, and this is what BuckMeister was complaining about last time, that we never really got to explore those guys. You know, it's really sad. But yeah, like final thoughts. If I was to rate this season, I would give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
Like I
nice.
said, personally for me, what you guys love the most is what I don't really love the most, because it really threw me off Aang. as a character, especially when he was boarding those people. I was like, you know what I mean? Like, I know it was like the water spirit and whatever, but for me, it just felt a bit. If I felt like they wrote themselves in a corner. I know they didn't, but to me, it just felt like it. I don't know. Something just felt a bit off for
What
me
I'll say
personally. For me,
this, what I'll say is, Mr. Extrodin, is I think what they were showing us is they were showing like Kyoshi. I mean, well, not Kyoshi, Yang Chen, but I guess that's book 3. But I guess it was like showing us there's a difference between what the avatar's supposed to be and what Aang is, in a sense.
yes.
Like Aang as a person and the avatar, like as much as they're intertwined, they're not at the same time. Like basically, it's this whole thing of at that point in time, his duty superseded his personality. So it does feel off because you're used to seeing this kid and you're used to seeing him try not to kill people and etc. etc. But then we get to this spirit thing, and this spirit has no reverence for human life, especially after human life ended one of the spiritual cycles and threw the whole world and the whole spiritual world in disarray.
Yeah.
So
No,
I think
I get you.
it was meant to make us feel a little bit uncomfortable, I think.
Yeah,
Is
we have
was
spoken
the
about
actual thing.
that even with the Legend of Korra. I think Pila and I touched on that a bit, but I agree with you about that. You're right, absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Sorry, Pilla. Final thoughts on book 1?
Yeah, I mean, I think listening to Mr. Extraordin, I share a lot of your thoughts. I mean, there's so many great themes explored in this show, especially for a children's show, like the sexism, racism, political espionage, political hierarchy, all that spiritualism, all of that grief. There's a lot happening here, and like, if I had to give it a score, I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe an 8.5 or a 9, somewhere there. I can't say for sure because like I'm comparing it obviously the show to the last season of the show, and I don't know where I rank that. So just to be safe, I'll say 8.5 to a 9 for now.
Mm, mm.
And
Yeah, man.
you,
Yeah,
BuckMeister, what is your score?
Oh, my score. I'm gonna go 9. Like, yeah, I mean, it's nitpicks basically. If I have to say why it's a 9, but like, I just think that everybody really comes into their own in like book 2 and 3. Like, this is a fantastic setup, but like these characters really like blossom. But like, I understand also because like the thing is they're doing a lot in this one season.
mm,
Like, because they're setting up spirits, they're setting up politics, they're setting up bending, they're setting up the rules of bending. They're setting up like histories and
We
like
also
entire nations
and
and
we also see basically all different types of combatants. We've seen fire against water, we've seen air against water,
Fire.
we've seen air against fire, and we also saw fire earth against both water um,
and
and air
fire.
and fire. So there's been all the different types of combat has been seen here. I mean, Bumi versus Aang is one of the highlights. That fight shows how polar opposite these two elements are in terms of combat.
Yeah.
And then shout out to the best, the climax between the Zuko versus Aang rivalry is that the fight at the perfume shop when that thing was busy chasing Aang and everybody. And
Oh, right.
yeah, if you pay attention, that's the titular battle between those two characters. We don't have a climactic battle of those two, and Aang won that handily.
Mm.
Even though Zuko landed so many impressive hits.
Yeah. And I like how they used in terms of bending. I like how they used like with water. You need water with you. You need to carry it with you. Um, Air is everywhere. Makes sense. Earth also makes sense.
With the fire, I just don't know how that worked, but at least all the others made perfect sense. It's not like Pokemon where
it
water gun and then squirrel just.
Where does it come from?
it
What does that Pokemon do?
it's the same way if you pay attention. The thing about fire is the way the Junjin explained it. You are literally the sun. It's your responsibility to keep that sun contained so it can be a benefit and bring life. When the sun behaves well, life happens. That's why there's life all around us.
I mean, they did try and imply. I don't think they did a strong connection, but they did
Yes.
try and imply like it was a a Kryptonian thing.
Yeah.
Like because there's sun, you can firebend.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
They
So
did imply it, but they didn't say it like specifically like how water and earth worked
yeah.
or whatever.
So I'm gonna start calling Ang L now. Ang
Nah.
L.
Ang L.
Ang L.
And L from the house of L.
You
What's
know-
your rating, Tebello?
Oh, really? I'm going. You see, that's the problem. I can't differentiate because this is the Avatar: The Last Airbender series is one of those. It's so well written is because you can see the whole symphony from beginning to end, and because of that, for me, they all carry the title 10. I can't just say I like this arc more than this arc. I like the other arc less than the other arc. I cannot. I've seen it too many times, and because of how much I enjoyed all of them, they all have to carry that. It wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair because if I were to give this one a lower ranking, why would I lower it? Because just because I like season 3 more. This thing had a perfect start off. Or season 2 doesn't have an ending I like, but it's so well written. You see such character development. So because of what happened in the second season, the third season had the best payoff. What was your line again, Mr. Pila? What?
Oh. It literally is setup development.
Setup?
Yeah.
I always forget those three things.
Yeah.
SDP.
SDP.
This shows
I'm
the
telling you,
perfect
dog. You
example.
need to get a shirt. You need to get a shirt.
Yeah.
We need to. This has to be
Khalacorp exclusive.
Yeah.
Please talk to your producers there.
you know.
Julie, do the thing.
Do the
Do
thing.
the thing.
I lied just this time because Vegeta's a bitch. Anyway,
Ah.
I couldn't have a day. Doesn't
We're from far left field. All right, I think then we've covered everything, and then next week we're on to book number 2, right?
Number
Yeah.
2.
It
Also
better
has
be-
Where they introduce the buttercup of the group.
Who?
Oh yeah, now this season ends with the introduction of the buttercup of the group. Woo! And we can't forget this scene literally ends with Fire Lord Oza going like, "Your Iroh is a traitor, and your brother Zuko is a failure. I have a task for you." And then you just see Azula and see.
No. She's not the buttercup. Buttercup has a
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
The buttercup to me is Toph.
Oh, tough. Okay, now I wanted to talk about Azula's.
Then
we
who's
can't forget
Blossom?
Azula.
That's Aang. No, it's Katara. I guess it's Katara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay.
Blood bending involved. It's
Who's
definitely
Blossom? Okay, Blossom is
Blossom.
what? Katara.
Katara, the motherly.
Awesome. Right.
And then who's Buttercup?
Buttercup is Toph. Bubbles would be Aang.
Yeah, Bubbles is
Yeah.
like because
Yeah.
he just wants to be nice.
Yeah.
And everybody.
But when he snaps, it's
when
scary.
he snaps, God help us.
So what Sokka's what
I'm
Professor X.
hardcore. Yeah, he's
Definitely
the
Professor Utonia.
And he is the professor, quite literally.
And what's Zuko? Mojo Jojo. I will. I will get the avatar. I will get the avatar. I swear.
And who's
the
Iroh? The
avatar.
mayor.
I will get the avatar. Then the avatar will be mine. Then honor will be mine. Then I will have avatar, and I will have the honor. I am Zuko, Prince Zuko. I love Mojo Jojo, man. Oh my god.
Oh
I'm so sad you guys spoke about Powerpuff Girls because I really wanted to talk about Powerpuff
Wait,
Girls.
you were not on that one?
No, I wasn't.
Oh my God, you weren't. Anyway, guys, let's end this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for lasting until this long. We hope that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please spread us around. It's a new year. We are on for wonderful new things. Please tell us if you like the new segments. We're gonna add more. We're gonna go unhinged. We're gonna go crazy. We want to have a fun year this year. Because 2023 we survived, and 2024 is the year we all celebrate our survival. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right. I hope once again. I'm gonna keep up with my dirty sayings. I hope that I want to become more viral than herpes, and the only way herpes spreads is through mouth to mouth. So please don't talk about us, even in the doctor's office. We love you guys. We hope to see you guys next week. Peace out.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's fine.